Noah was at a private club where adult guys could relax without having to pretend they had everything together. Some people came to play games, watch movies, color, or just sit somewhere quiet. Others used the club because age regression helped them handle stress. Noah Smith was 21 now, but walking into the club still made him nervous. He kept his hands buried in his hoodie pockets as he looked around the room. A large man wearing a staff badge stepped out of an office. "Noah Smith," he called. Noah slowly raised his hand. "Me." The man smiled. "I'm Todd, come with me, your regression therapist Will is ready to meet you." Noah froze for a second. "My therapist?" Todd nodded. "Yeah, nothing happens unless you agree to it. Will just wants to talk with you first and figure out what makes you comfortable." Noah followed Todd down the hallway. The farther they walked, the quieter the club became. Todd stopped outside a room and knocked. "Come in," someone answered. Todd opened the door. Will was sitting in a chair beside a small table covered with coloring books, puzzles, sensory toys, and a chessboard. Noah immediately noticed the chessboard. Will smiled. "You must be Noah." "Yeah. I'm Will, you can sit wherever you want." Noah picked the chair closest to the chessboard. Will noticed but didn't comment. For almost a minute, neither of them spoke. Finally, Noah asked, "So what exactly am I supposed to do?" "Nothing," Will said. Noah frowned. "Nothing. You've spent a lot of your life being told what you're supposed to do. In here, you get choices." Noah looked around the room again. Will continued, "Some adults who come here regress a little when they're overwhelmed. Some want cartoons or stuffed animals. Some want quiet activities. Some use protective underwear because it helps them feel secure. Some don't. There isn't one correct way to be here." Noah looked down at his hands. "I don't know what I want." "That's okay." Noah glanced at the chessboard. Will smiled. "Want to start there?" Noah finally smiled a little. "Yeah," he said, "chess I understand." Will moved the board between them. "Then chess it is." Noah reached for the white pieces. But before making his first move, he looked at Will. "You really aren't going to make fun of me?" "No. Even if some of the stuff I like is weird." Will shook his head. "Noah, this room isn't about being normal. It's about finding what helps you feel safe while still respecting your boundaries." Noah stared at the board for another moment. Then he pushed his king pawn forward. "Your move." Noah stared down at the chessboard for a long moment, his fingers resting on one of the pieces. "I used to play with my dad," Noah said quietly. "He put me and my brother Eli in a chess club." Will looked across the board at him. "Sounds like chess was a pretty important part of your family." Noah nodded. "Yeah, Dad couldn't really play like us, but he always made sure we got there. He'd sit there and watch. Eli got really good, way better than me." Noah gave a small laugh, but it disappeared quickly. "After Dad passed, I stopped playing." Will didn't immediately respond. Noah picked up a knight and turned it slowly between his fingers. "I don't even know why. Nobody told me I had to stop. I just couldn't look at the board anymore without thinking about him. So coming in here and seeing one again brought all of that back." "Yeah." Noah placed the knight back down. "My dad used to tell us chess was about thinking before you move. He said you can mess up one move and still save the game." Will smiled gently. "That sounds like something worth remembering." Noah's eyes stayed on the pieces. "He said a lot of stuff I didn't understand until he was gone." For a moment the room became completely quiet. Then Noah pushed his pawn forward. "Can we still play?" "Of course." Will made his move. Noah studied the board. After a few turns, some of the tension started leaving his shoulders. His moves became faster and more confident. Will noticed. "You remember more than you thought." Noah smiled. "My dad would probably yell at me for abandoning chess this long." Will raised an eyebrow. "Yell?" Noah laughed. "Not really yell, more like give me that disappointed dad speech." "What would he say?" Noah thought about it. "He'd probably say, 'Noah, you don't quit something you love just because it hurts.'" Will nodded. Noah stared at the board again. Then he moved his bishop. "Check." Will looked at the board and smiled. "Well, Noah Smith, apparently your dad taught you pretty well." Noah smiled for real this time. "Yeah," he whispered, "he did." Noah looked down at the chessboard, suddenly embarrassed. Will, if you don't mind, could you help me with a diaper? I know that's a weird thing to ask. Will didn't laugh or look surprised. It isn't weird to tell me what would make you feel comfortable, Will said, but I want to make sure we handle it respectfully. I'm your therapist, so there are boundaries around personal care. Noah nodded quickly. Yeah, I understand. If you need hands-on help, we can get one of the club's trained care staff. Or, if you're able to manage it yourself, I can make sure you have a private room and whatever supplies you normally use. Noah relaxed a little. I think having somebody nearby would help. I get nervous doing this somewhere new. That's completely reasonable, Will said. You stay in control, you can change your mind at any point. Noah looked toward the door. Can Todd help? I can ask him whether he's one of the staff approved for personal care. Will stood and stopped before opening the door. And Noah. Yes. You never have to apologize for asking for support. My job is just to make sure that support is safe and respects your boundaries. Noah gave a small nod. Thanks. Will stepped into the hallway to speak with Todd while Noah stayed beside the chessboard, feeling a little less nervous about being at the club. Will stepped into the hallway and quietly spoke to Todd. He's opening up, Will said. He told me his dad passed away when he was a kid. Chess was something he used to do with his dad and his brother Eli. He stopped playing after his dad died, but playing with me seemed to help him reconnect with those memories. Todd nodded. That's a big step. Yeah, Will said, and now he's asking about wearing a diaper because he thinks it might help him feel more comfortable here. Todd glanced toward the room. Is he okay? He seems overwhelmed more than anything, Will said. I don't want to turn it into a bigger deal than it needs to be. He asked for support, so we'll keep it private, respectful, and let him decide what he's comfortable with. Todd nodded. I can get the supplies and show him where the private changing room is. Thanks. We'll return to Noah. Noah was still sitting beside the chessboard. You told him, Noah asked nervously. Only what was necessary, Will said. Todd is going to bring you what you need and show you the private room. You can handle as much of it yourself as you want, and if you need assistance, trained staff can help. Noah let out a breath. Okay. Will sat back down across from him. And when you're ready, this board isn't going anywhere. Noah looked at the chess pieces. Can we finish the game after? Absolutely. Noah smiled a little. My dad would probably be happy I'm playing again. Will nodded. I think getting back to something that mattered to you is a pretty good reason to keep playing. Noah picked up the knight again. Don't move anything while I'm gone. Will laughed. I promise. Noah stood near the doorway, looking embarrassed. I need help, he admitted. I don't know how to do it. Will nodded. That's okay, you don't have to figure it out by yourself. Noah looked down. I feel stupid asking. You're learning something new, Will said. That doesn't make you stupid. We'll just make sure whoever helps you is trained and that your privacy is respected. Will called Todd back over. Noah needs some assistance, Will explained. Can one of the care staff help him? Todd nodded. Absolutely. Noah looked at Will. Can you stay close? I can wait right outside, Will said. Then when you're finished, we can come straight back and continue our chess game. Noah seemed relieved. Okay, I want that. Todd showed Noah toward the private care area while Will stayed nearby. A little while later, Noah returned looking far less tense than before. Will was sitting exactly where Noah had left him. The chessboard was untouched. Noah pointed at it. You really didn't move anything. Will smiled. I gave you my word. Noah sat back down. Good, because I remember exactly where everything was. He picked up his knight. And I'm still going to beat you. Will laughed. There's the Noah I was waiting for. Noah smiled and made his move. Noah's phone rang. He glanced down at the screen. Eli and Caleb. Noah stared at it for a second, then turned the phone face down without answering. Will noticed. You don't have to pick up if you're not ready. Noah shook his head. No, I can't right now. He sat back in the chair and looked toward the chessboard. My dad was disabled, Noah said. He needed diapers and help from caregivers. Will nodded, letting Noah continue at his own pace. Noah took a breath. And now I just found out my brother married my other brother, Eli and Caleb. Now they're getting divorced. Will's expression changed slightly, but he didn't interrupt. Noah started counting things on his fingers. First, my dad was disabled and needed people to help him. Then we found out the caregivers who were supposed to help him hurt him. They hurt me and Eli too. His voice started getting louder. Then there's my mom. She wasn't really a mom to me when I was growing up. We're okay now, but that took years. Will stayed quiet. And now Eli and Caleb. Noah rubbed his face. I'm the oldest out of all of us. His phone buzzed again. Noah ignored it. My whole life it's always been, Noah, make sure Eli is okay. He looked at Will. Dad said it. Another breath. Mom said it. Noah pointed toward his phone. Now everybody is worried about Eli and Caleb because their marriage is falling apart. Will asked quietly, and who checks on Noah? Noah froze. For several seconds he didn't answer. Then his eyes filled with tears. That's what I'm saying. His voice cracked. Who asks if Noah is okay? Will leaned forward slightly but kept his distance. Noah continued. My nannies both quit after Dad died. The people who were supposed to take care of Dad betrayed us. Dad died, Mom and I had all our problems. Eli always needed somebody. He wiped his face with his sleeve. And I know Eli has been through a lot. I know Caleb has too. I love them. Noah looked frustrated with himself for crying. But I was a kid too. Will nodded. Yes, you were. I was Dad's firstborn. Noah hit his hand lightly against his chest. I'm his kid too. You aren't. I shouldn't have had to become everybody's backup parent just because I was the oldest. We'll let the words sit between them. Noah looked down at the diaper he had chosen to wear, then back toward the chessboard. My dad needed these because of his disability, he said. For me, I think I wanted one because I'm tired. Tired how? Will asked. Not sleep tired. Noah swallowed. Tired of always having to be the older brother. Will nodded slowly. So maybe coming here isn't about pretending you're somebody else. Noah looked at him. Maybe it's about having one place where you don't have to take care of everybody. Noah's phone buzzed again. He picked it up. Eli. Noah stared at the name. Then he declined the call. I'll call him later, Noah said. Will nodded. That sounds fair. Noah placed the phone beside the chessboard. For 1 hour, Eli and Caleb can figure out their own problems. A small smile appeared on Will's face. And what does Noah want to do for that hour? Noah looked at the chess pieces. He moved his knight. Beat you. Will laughed softly. Finally, something that's about you. Noah looked at the board for a moment. Then he whispered. Yeah. He moved the piece into position. Something that's about me. Linda leaned against the wall, one hand pressed against her side. Where is your brother? She asked. Eli looked down at his phone again. He isn't picking up. Caleb came rushing back into the room. Eli, put Linda in my van. We need to take her to the hospital. Eli immediately looked at Linda. Mom, can you walk? I can make it. No, don't push yourself, Caleb said. I'll help. Eli grabbed his phone again and called Noah. Straight to voicemail. Come on, Noah, Eli muttered. Caleb opened the van door while Eli helped Linda outside. Linda looked at Eli. Maybe he just needs some space. Yeah, but his mother is going to the hospital, Eli said. I think he might want to know that. Caleb looked at him. Then text him, don't keep calling. Eli typed quickly. Mom is going to the hospital. Caleb and I are taking her. Call when you see this. He hit send. Then Eli shook his head. He's probably high somewhere. Linda immediately looked at him. Eli. What? Don't do that. Eli frowned. Linda continued, you don't know what Noah is doing. You're upset because he isn't answering, but that doesn't mean you get to assume the worst about him. Caleb nodded, she's right. Eli crossed his arms. I'm just saying he disappears when stuff gets bad. And maybe there's a reason for that, Linda said. Eli went quiet. Caleb closed the van door once Linda was safely inside. Look, Noah has spent years dealing with everybody else's emergencies. If he needs an hour where nobody can reach him, maybe we should give him that. Eli looked at his phone. But what if something happens to Mom? Caleb's voice softened. Then we tell him what happened, but right now our job is getting her checked out. Linda reached for Eli's hand. Your brother loves me, I know that now, but he doesn't have to prove it by answering every phone call. Eli swallowed. I just feel like everything is falling apart again. Linda squeezed his hand. I know. Caleb got into the driver's seat. Hospital first, family arguments later. Eli climbed into the van beside Linda. As Caleb pulled away, Eli looked down at his phone one more time. Still no answer from Noah. Please just be okay, Eli whispered. Across town, Noah's phone vibrated beside the chessboard. He saw Eli's message. His expression immediately changed. Will noticed. What happened? Noah picked up the phone. My mom is going to the hospital. He stared at the screen. For a second, the old instinct came rushing back. Drop everything. Take care of everybody. Fix it. Noah stood up. Then he stopped. Will waited. Noah looked at him. I need to call them. That's your choice. Noah nodded. But I'm not going there to fix Eli and Caleb. Will gave a small nod. I'm going because my mom is sick. Noah unlocked his phone. For once, I need everybody to understand the difference. Noah called Eli back almost immediately. Eli answered on the first ring. Where the hell have you been? Noah grabbed his jacket. Sorry, I was in therapy. Eli scoffed. You blocked my calls so you could go smoke pot. No regression therapy, Noah snapped. Shut up, which hospital? Eli went quiet for a second. Wait, regression therapy. Eli, I will explain later. Which hospital is mom at? Caleb could be heard in the background. Just tell him. Eli finally answered, County General, we're about 10 minutes away. Noah started walking toward the club entrance. What happened to her? She started feeling really bad, and Caleb said we weren't waiting around to see if it got worse. Is she awake? Yes. Talking? Yes. Noah let out a breath. Okay, I'm coming. Eli paused. Noah. What? I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said you were getting high. No, you shouldn't have. I was scared. Noah stopped near the front door. I know, but every time something happens, everybody assumes Noah is supposed to drop everything and come running. Eli didn't answer. Noah continued, I was finally talking to somebody about Dad, about you, about Caleb, about Mom, about everything that happened to us. Eli's voice softened. You were talking about me. Unfortunately. Caleb laughed from somewhere near Eli. Noah rolled his eyes. Tell Caleb I heard him. Caleb yelled good. For the first time since getting the call, Noah smiled. Then his expression became serious again. I'm heading to the hospital, just keep me updated until I get there. I will. And Eli. Yes. I love you, but tonight I'm there for Mom. I'm not getting in the middle of whatever is happening between you and Caleb. There was another pause. Fair. Noah ended the call. Will had followed him to the lobby. Everything okay? My mom's going to the hospital. Will nodded, then go be with your family. Noah looked back toward the hallway. And we're finishing that chess game. Will smiled. Board stays exactly where it is. Noah opened the door. Good, because I was winning. You keep telling yourself that. Noah shook his head and headed outside. For once, he wasn't running to the hospital because everyone expected the oldest brother to fix everything. He was going because he chose to be there for his mother. Noah hurried into the hospital room. Mom. Linda looked over at him. Noah, I'm fine. Eli immediately shook his head. Don't lie, Mom, you pass out every time you move. Linda gave him an annoyed look. Eli stopped being a smartass. Caleb stood near the window with his arms crossed. He's not wrong. Linda looked at him too. Wonderful, now there are two of you. Noah walked closer to the bed. What happened? Linda sighed, I got dizzy, that's it. Eli stared at her. You fell against the wall. Then passed out when we tried to move you. I remember. No, you don't, Eli said, because you were unconscious. Linda pointed at him. Eli. What? Noah asked. Noah looked between them. Can everybody stop fighting for 30 seconds? The room went quiet. Noah pulled a chair beside Linda's bed and sat down. Mom, I'm not going to panic, but I need you to tell me what the doctors said. They're running tests. That's all. Linda nodded. So far. Noah leaned back. Okay. Eli looked at Noah. You came fast. Because you said Mom was in the hospital. Eli hesitated. And you really were in therapy. Noah looked at him. Yes. What kind? Noah sighed. The kind I'm not discussing in the middle of Mom's hospital room. Caleb raised his hands. Fair. Linda looked at Noah more carefully. Are you okay? Noah froze. Eli and Caleb both went quiet. Noah stared at his mother. What? Linda repeated herself. I asked if you're okay. Noah's expression changed. Earlier, he had spent nearly an hour telling Will that nobody ever asked him that. Now Linda had. Noah looked away for a moment. I don't know. Linda reached her hand toward him. Noah took it. You don't have to know tonight, she said. Eli watched them quietly. Noah swallowed. I spent most of my life being told to make sure everybody else was okay. Linda's face softened. I know. Dad did it, you did it, everybody did. I'm sorry. Noah looked at Eli. And now you and Caleb are going through your divorce, and somehow I already know everybody is going to expect me to keep checking on both of you. Eli lowered his head. Noah continued. I love you, both of you, but I can't keep being everybody's emergency contact emotionally. Caleb nodded slowly. That's fair. Eli looked back at Noah. I didn't know you felt like that. That's because nobody asked. Linda squeezed Noah's hand. Well, I'm asking now. Noah looked at her. Are you okay? For a second, Noah almost gave the automatic answer. Fine. Instead, he shook his head. Not really. Linda nodded. Then you don't have to pretend with me. Eli sat down on the other side of the room. I'm sorry too, Noah. Noah looked at him. For what? For calling you high, for assuming you were just ignoring us, and for treating you like you're supposed to fix everything. Noah nodded. Thank you. Caleb glanced toward Eli. And whatever happens between me and Eli is between me and Eli. Noah pointed at him. Exactly. Eli sighed. Fine. Linda smiled faintly. Look at that, my hospital visit turned into family therapy. Noah gave her a look. Don't get excited, you're still getting those tests done. Linda rolled her eyes. Yes, Dad. Noah immediately stared at her. Linda realized what she had said. Oh. For a moment nobody spoke. Then Noah gave a small laugh. Dad would have said the exact same thing. Eli smiled. He definitely would have. And for the first time since Noah entered the hospital, the tension in the room eased. Eli glanced down and noticed the waistband showing above Noah's pants. Why are you wearing a diaper? Noah immediately looked uncomfortable. Eli, not now. Eli frowned, regression. Noah looked at him sharply. Eli, just leave me alone about it right now. I'm just asking. And I'm telling you I don't want to talk about it. Eli lifted his hands. Okay, damn. Noah stood up from the chair. You want me questioning every private thing happening in your life because I could. Eli's expression changed. Noah. No, you and Caleb just found out your marriage is falling apart, Mom is in the hospital, and somehow the thing you need explained right now is what I'm wearing. Caleb looked away. Eli went quiet. Noah grabbed his jacket. I finally did something for myself tonight. I went somewhere, talked to somebody, played chess again, and tried to deal with Dad's death and everything that happened to us. Linda watched him carefully. Noah. He looked at her. I love you, Mom. I'm glad you're okay enough to argue with everybody. Linda gave him a tired smile. But I can't stay here tonight. Eli stepped forward. I wasn't trying to upset you. I know, but when I say leave something alone, leave it alone. Eli nodded. Okay. Noah walked toward the door. I love you, Mom. I'll see you tomorrow. Love you too. Noah looked back at Eli and Caleb. And you two need to figure out your own mess without dragging me into it. Caleb nodded, understood. Eli looked guilty. Noah. What? Sorry. Noah paused. Thank you. Then he walked out of the hospital room. Linda waited until the door closed before looking at Eli. You need to learn when your brother is telling you he's had enough. Eli sighed and sat down. I know. Caleb looked toward the door Noah had just gone through. He's been carrying everybody for a long time. Linda nodded. And apparently none of us noticed how tired he was. Caleb looked at Eli after Noah left the room. Eli, you're smart, but sometimes you can be a dumbass, and tonight was one of those times. Eli stared at him. Thanks. I'm serious, Noah told you twice to leave it alone. I was just curious. And that's the problem, Caleb said. You get curious and forget there's a person attached to the question. Linda gave Caleb a tired look. You're not exactly known for perfect timing either. Caleb nodded. Fair, but tonight that was Eli. Eli sat down and rubbed his face. I didn't think he'd get that mad. Caleb leaned against the wall. He wasn't just mad about the question. He's mad because everybody keeps expecting him to explain himself while he's carrying everybody else's problems. Eli looked toward the hospital room door. I really screwed that up. Linda nodded. A little. A little. Caleb laughed. Okay, a lot. Eli grabbed a pillow from the chair and threw it at him. Caleb caught it. See, still a dumbass. Shut up. Linda sighed. My sons and their brother are fighting in my hospital room. Wonderful. Eli looked at her. I'll apologize tomorrow. Caleb shook his head. Don't just say sorry, actually listen when he tells you he doesn't want to talk about something. Eli nodded slowly. Yeah. He looked down at his phone, tempted to text Noah. Then he stopped himself. No, I'll give him space tonight. Linda smiled faintly. There you go, you learned something. Caleb pointed at Eli. Write down the date. Eli finally listened. Eli rolled his eyes. Fuck you. Caleb grinned. Love you too. The next day Noah went back to see Will. The chessboard was still exactly where they had left it. Noah walked into the room, sat down and pointed at the board. Let's finish the game, I got padded, let's do this. Will smiled slightly. I kept my promise, nothing moved. Noah immediately reached for his knight. Before they started, Will asked, Is your mom okay? Noah sighed. She's weak but she's okay, they're still watching her. I'm glad she's stable. Yeah. Noah made his move. Then he shook his head. My brother Eli doesn't know what fucking boundaries are. Will raised an eyebrow. What happened? He noticed what I was wearing at the hospital and started asking questions. Noah looked up from the board. I told him not now, then I told him to leave it alone, he kept asking. Will nodded, so you felt like he ignored you when you set a boundary. Exactly. Noah moved another piece. And everybody else gets privacy. He pointed toward the board as he talked. Eli has private stuff, Caleb has private stuff, Mom has private stuff. Noah tapped his chest. But me. He shook his head. Apparently because I used to smoke pot, everybody thinks they know everything about me already, or they think I have to explain every single thing I do. Will stayed quiet. Noah continued. Do I seriously have to tell everybody everything? No. Noah stopped moving the chess piece. Will continued, you can decide what parts of your life you share, who you share them with, and when. That's what I thought. Someone being your brother doesn't automatically give them access to every private detail. Noah finally placed the piece down. Thank you. Will looked at the board. Although you do owe me one thing. Noah narrowed his eyes. What? A response to that bishop you completely ignored. Noah looked down. Oh fuck. Will smiled. Check. Noah leaned closer to the board. Okay, family problems are officially suspended until I get out of this. That works for me. Noah studied the position for a few seconds. Then a grin appeared on his face. You made a mistake. Will looked again. I did. Noah moved his rook. Yeah. He leaned back proudly. Now let's see if you remember why my dad put me in chess club. Noah stared at the chessboard for a moment before speaking again. I enjoy helping my family, I really do, Noah said. I don't want Eli or Caleb or Mom going through something alone. Will nodded, I believe you. Yeah. But sometimes it feels like nobody would help me the same way. Noah moved a pawn, then stopped with his fingers still on it. I don't know that for sure, it just feels like it. That difference matters, Will said. You're describing how things feel to you, not claiming you know what everyone else is thinking. Exactly, Noah sighed. Maybe they would help, but when have I ever gotten the chance to find out? Usually something happens and everybody looks at me. Will asked what would helping Noah actually look like. Noah went quiet. I don't know. That might be worth figuring out. Noah leaned back. Maybe somebody calling me without needing something, somebody asking if I ate, asking if therapy went okay, or just sitting with me because I'm having a bad day without turning it into their problem. He looked down at himself. Even this, I came here because I wanted somewhere I didn't have to be the responsible oldest brother for a couple hours. Will nodded. And then Mom went to the hospital. Yep. And you still went. Of course I went, that's my mom. Will smiled slightly, so setting boundaries hasn't stopped you from caring about your family. Noah looked at him. No. It's just making room for Noah to be part of the family too. Noah was quiet for several seconds. Then he gave a small nod. I like that. His phone buzzed on the table. Noah glanced at it. Eli, how is therapy? Not asking questions, just checking on you. Noah stared at the message. Will noticed his expression, everything okay. Noah smiled despite himself. Apparently the dumbass learned something. Will laughed. Noah typed back. I'm okay, thank you for asking, I'll call you later. He put the phone down and returned his attention to the chessboard. Maybe I was wrong, Noah said. About. Maybe somebody does want to help Noah. Will nodded toward the board. And right now, Noah could help himself by noticing that his queen is hanging. Noah's eyes widened. Oh, you mothers. Will laughed as Noah quickly reached for the piece. Therapy or not, I'm not letting you win. Good, Noah said, neither would Dad. Noah moved one of his chess pieces and leaned back. I looked this place up 3 years ago. Will looked surprised, 3 years, why didn't you come then? Noah laughed a little, I didn't have a job, I liked weed and food and this place isn't cheap. Will smiled, so your priorities were different. Pretty much, if I had $20, I was thinking about what I could eat, not therapy. At least you eventually came. Noah nodded, yeah, it took me 3 years but I'm here. Will looked at the chessboard, what changed? I got tired of dealing with everything the same way, Noah shrugged. Getting high might make me forget stuff for a while, but when it wears off, Mom is still Mom, Eli is still Eli, Caleb is still Caleb, and Dad is still gone. Will nodded. And I kept looking at this place online, Noah continued. I'd close the website, then a few months later I'd look again. So some part of you kept wanting to try it. Yeah, I just kept finding reasons not to. Noah glanced down at what he was wearing. And I definitely never thought my first day here would end with me going to the hospital padded. Will laughed softly, that wasn't exactly on the intake schedule. No shit. Noah moved his bishop. But yesterday was the first time in a long time where I did something because I wanted to do it. Not because Mom needed me, not because Eli needed me, not because Caleb needed me. He looked at Will. So yeah, this place costs too damn much. Will smiled. But... Noah grinned and pointed at the chessboard. But apparently I'm coming back. Will looked down at Noah's move. You might want to reconsider after I take your rook. Noah's smile disappeared. You better not. Will took the rook. Noah stared at the board. Okay, now this place is definitely too expensive. Noah stared at the chessboard. For an hour or two, I need no brothers, no mom, just time for me. Will nodded, that sounds reasonable. Noah didn't make his next move. And no guilt. Will looked at him, what guilt? Noah swallowed. Not telling Dad his caregivers were hurting me. His voice became quieter. Sometimes I think if I had told him, maybe Dad would still be here, maybe everything would have changed. Maybe Eli and Caleb wouldn't have ended up marrying each other before finding out the truth. Maybe Mom and Dad would have gotten back together. We'll let Noah finish before answering. That's a lot of different outcomes you're putting on one decision you made when you were a kid. Noah looked at him. But I knew something was wrong. You were also a child dealing with adults who had power over you, Will said. You couldn't have known everything that would happen afterward. Noah rubbed his eyes. I keep replaying it. I imagine myself walking into Dad's room and just telling him. And in your imagination, everything gets fixed. Yeah. Will nodded, because now you know things Noah back then didn't know. Noah looked back at the pieces. I wish I could talk to that version of myself. What would you tell him? Noah thought for a long time. Tell Dad. He paused. And then I'd probably tell him that if he was too scared to tell Dad, I understand why. Will gave a small nod. Noah's eyes watered. I miss him. I know. I don't want every memory of Dad connected to guilt. Then maybe chess can help with that too. Noah looked confused. Will pointed toward the board. You told me chess was something your dad gave you and Eli. That's a memory of him that doesn't belong to the caregivers, the court cases, or everything that happened afterward. Noah looked down at the knight in his hand. This belongs to Dad. And you. Noah slowly placed the knight on the board. For the next 2 hours. No brothers, Will said. No moms. No family emergencies unless they're actually emergencies. Noah smiled slightly. And no trying to rewrite 20 years of my life in my head. Will smiled, we can work on that one. Noah finally made his move. Okay. He leaned back. For 2 hours I'm just Noah. Will studied the board. Just Noah who's about to lose his queen. Noah immediately leaned forward. Will, I swear to God. Will looked at Noah carefully. You were a kid, the adults who were supposed to help your dad were the ones responsible for keeping all of you safe. Noah nodded slowly. I know, but Dad told me to hide cameras in my room and Eli's room. Will paused. So it sounds like your dad already suspected something was wrong. Yeah. He may have known something was happening without knowing how to prove it, Will said. And from everything you've told me, he had a custody fight, problems with your mom, 2 kids to protect, his own disability and caregivers he depended on. That's a lot for one person. Noah stared at the board. I love Eli, I really do. I know. But when Eli finally said Scott and Rick had hurt him too, I felt horrible for him. Noah swallowed. And I was happy. Will didn't react with shock. Noah immediately looked at him. I know how fucked up that sounds. Tell me why you felt happy. Because that was when I knew I wasn't alone. Noah's eyes watered. Before that, there was always this part of me wondering if maybe I remembered things wrong, or maybe there was something about me that made them pick me. He rubbed his face. Then Eli said it happened to him too, and suddenly I knew it wasn't just me. Will nodded. That relief doesn't mean you wanted Eli to be hurt. Noah looked at him. It does. No, you can hate what happened to him and still feel relief that somebody finally understood what you had been carrying. Noah let out a shaky breath. I hate that I felt it. You don't have to like the feeling, but you can understand where it came from. Noah looked away. And I'm mad at Caleb. Why? Because he was safe from Scott and Rick. Will stayed quiet. I know that's fucked up too, Noah continued. Caleb didn't do anything, he was a kid too, but sometimes I look at him and think, why did he get to miss that part? Will nodded slowly. Being angry that someone else was spared doesn't necessarily mean you wanted it to happen to them. Noah looked back at him. I definitely didn't. You wanted someone to have protected you the way Caleb was protected. Noah froze. Then he looked down. Yeah. His voice became quiet. That's exactly it. Will leaned back. So maybe the anger isn't really, why was Caleb safe? Noah waited. Maybe it's why wasn't Noah safe too? Noah's eyes filled again. Fuck it. Will gave him a moment. Noah wiped his face with his sleeve. I came here to play chess, man. Will looked at the board. You can still play chess. Noah laughed through the tears. This is some bullshit. You brought the feelings with you. Apparently. Noah picked up his knight. But I don't want to hate Caleb. Then don't turn the feeling into something Caleb owes you for. Noah nodded. He doesn't. You can be angry about what happened to you without making him responsible for surviving something differently. Noah slowly made his move. Jack. Will look down at the board. Then back at Noah. You know, for somebody having a very difficult conversation, you're still annoyingly good at this. Noah smiled faintly. Dad would be proud. I think remembering him that way matters too. Noah looked at the chessboard. Yeah. He touched the knight with one finger. For once, I want to remember Dad without immediately thinking about everything that went wrong. Will nodded. Then for the next move, remember the dad who put you and Eli in chess club. Noah smiled. That dad I can handle. Noah shifted in his chair. Will, I used weed to calm down, can I smoke? Will shook his head. Not during our session, I don't want you relying on getting high every time something difficult comes up. Noah sighed, fair. If you need a minute, we can open the window, get some air, take a break from talking, or go back to chess. Noah looked toward the window. Air first. Will opened it slightly, and Noah stood nearby for a moment. My ex broke up with me because I wouldn't have sex with her. Will looked over. She thought I was gay. Noah shook his head. And when I finally told her some of what happened to me when I was younger, she said I was lying because I hadn't told her sooner. Will's expression became serious. That hurt. Yeah, it did. Noah sat back down. I didn't even know how to explain it. I cared about her, I just wasn't ready for that part of the relationship. You're allowed to have that boundary. I know that now. Noah picked up a chess piece and rolled it between his fingers. But back then I kept thinking something was wrong with me because everybody else acted like I should want it. Will said, not wanting sex, not being ready, or needing more trust doesn't automatically tell anyone what your sexuality is. Noah nodded. And telling someone about painful experiences years later doesn't mean you made them up. Exactly. Noah stared at the knight in his hand. I think that's why I stopped telling people things. Either they want every detail or they decide I'm lying because I waited too long. Will nodded. You get to decide what you share and when. Noah smiled faintly. There's that boundary word again. You seem to need it a lot. Noah laughed. Apparently my whole family does. He returned the knight to the board. I still miss her sometimes. That can be true even if the relationship wasn't working. Noah nodded. Yeah. He looked down at the position. Okay, enough ex-girlfriend talk. Will smiled back to chess. Back to chess. Noah made his move. And no weed. Will nodded. For now, just Noah, some fresh air and a chessboard. Noah grinned. That might actually work. Will leaned back in his chair. How do you feel here, talking to me padded playing chess? Noah looked down at the board for a moment. Like I don't have to put my guard up. Will nodded. Even though 5 minutes ago you asked if you could smoke in here. Noah laughed. Yeah, even then. He moved a pawn. You told me no, but you didn't act like I was some kind of problem because I asked. That matters to you. A lot. Noah looked around the room. I'm used to people hearing one thing about me and deciding who I am. Weed, family drama, therapy, whatever. He gestured down toward himself. Even being patted, I thought I was going to feel stupid. And do you? Noah thought about it. No. He smiled faintly. I actually feel calm. Will nodded, good. It's weird. Different doesn't have to mean bad. Noah looked back at the board. I think part of why I like this is because nobody here needs anything from me. Will smiled slightly. Well, I need you to move before I get bored. Noah laughed. See, that I can handle. He moved his bishop. Jack. Will looked down. Oh, you've been setting that up. Yep. Noah leaned back proudly. And I did it completely sober. Will laughed. There you go. Noah's smile softened. For real though, I think this is the first place in a long time where I'm not waiting for something bad to happen. Will nodded. That sounds like your guard coming down a little. Noah looked at him. Yeah. Then he pointed at the chessboard. But don't get too comfortable, I still don't trust you with my queen. Will smiled. That sounds healthy to me. Noah stared at the chessboard. And now Mom is sick. Will's expression softened. My dad passed when I was 9 or 10, Noah continued. I barely got through that. Will started carefully, and now, at 21, you might have to go through something like that again with your mom if. No. Noah said it so fast that Will immediately stopped. Will, please don't go there. Will nodded. You're right, I'm sorry, that was a bad choice of words. Noah looked down. His breathing became uneven, and tears started running down his face. We just got a good relationship. I know. No, I mean we just got there. Noah wiped his face. For most of my childhood, she barely felt like my mom. We had all that fighting, court stuff, dad, everything. And now I can actually call her mom and mean it. Will stayed quiet. So please don't start talking like I'm going to lose her. I won't. Noah shook his head. I'm sorry. You don't need to apologize for telling me to stop. I snapped at you. And I crossed into something you weren't ready to talk about. You told me immediately, that's exactly what I want you to do here. Noah looked at him. You're not mad. No. Noah rubbed his eyes with his sleeve. I really don't want to think that far ahead. Then we won't. Will gestured toward the chessboard. We can stay with what you actually know right now. Noah nodded slowly. Mom is sick. Yes. She's weak. Yes. But she's here. Will nodded. She's here. Noah took a long breath. And she asked if I was okay. A small smile appeared through his tears. That meant a lot. I can tell. Noah looked down at his pieces. I spent years being angry at her. Now that I finally don't hate being around her, I just want some time with her. That makes sense. Noah picked up his knight but didn't move it yet. Can we just play for a minute? Absolutely. No family therapy, no mom dying, no dad, no Eli and Caleb being idiots. Will smiled slightly. Just chess. Noah finally moved the knight. Just chess. Will studied the board. A few seconds later, Noah wiped the last tears from his face. Then he pointed at Will's king. Check. Will looked down and sighed. You cry for 2 minutes and somehow I'm still losing. Noah gave a small laugh. Dad taught me not to waste an opening. Noah sat quietly for a moment, staring at the chessboard. I needed this, he said. Will nodded. I'm supposed to go see Mom, but I can't see her like that right now. You don't have to force yourself this second. Noah rubbed his hands together. When I see her weak in that hospital bed, I get flashbacks of Dad. Will stayed quiet. There were days Dad was in so much pain he had to stay in bed. One of my nannies would take me to chess tournaments. Noah swallowed. One night before a tournament, Dad told me, I'll be there tomorrow. He looked down. And then he didn't show. Will asked gently because he was too sick. Yeah. Noah nodded. And I get it now, I really do. Sometimes his body just wouldn't let him do what he wanted. He wiped at his eyes. But I was a kid. Will nodded. And kid Noah didn't understand all of that. No. Noah's voice cracked. I kept looking at the door during the tournament. He took a breath. Every time somebody came in, I thought it was Dad. We'll let the silence sit for a moment. And he never came. No. Noah looked embarrassed by how much it still affected him. I know he loved me, I know he wanted to be there, but it still hurt. Understanding why something happened doesn't erase how it felt. Noah nodded slowly. That's exactly it. He looked toward the window. And now when Mom says she's fine but she can barely get around, part of me goes right back there. To waiting for your dad. Yeah. Noah rubbed his face. I don't want to walk into her hospital room already scared. Will nodded. Then maybe you don't go there pretending you're okay. Noah looked at him. What do you mean? You could tell her the truth, you love her, you want to see her, but hospitals and seeing her weak bring back memories of your dad. Noah thought about it. She'd probably understand. She might. Noah looked back at the chessboard. I don't want her thinking I'm avoiding her. Then tell her you're not. Noah nodded. I can call her first. That sounds like a good middle ground. Noah picked up his phone then stopped. After this game, Will smiled. Of course. Noah moved his rook. Dad missed that tournament. He looked at the board. But he's the reason I knew how to play in it. Will smiled slightly. That sounds like something worth holding on to. Noah nodded. Yeah. Then he pointed toward Will's king. Jack. Will glanced at the clock. Noah, our time was up 2 hours ago. Noah didn't look away from the chessboard. I know. You've been here almost 4 hours. I know that too. Will watched him carefully. Noah moved his bishop then stopped. I have to go see Mom after this. Okay. But I can't go right now. Will nodded slowly, because you're still trying to get yourself ready. Yeah. Noah rubbed his face. If I leave right now, I'm going to walk into that hospital room thinking about Dad. Then Mom is going to ask if I'm okay, Eli is probably going to say something stupid, Caleb is going to call Eli a dumbass, and suddenly I'm dealing with everybody again. Will gave a small smile. That does sound like your family. Noah laughed quietly. Exactly. Then he pointed at the board. Let us finish this game. Will looked at him. One game. One game. And afterwards. Noah sighed. I call Mom. And then. I go see her. Will nodded. No disappearing for another 4 hours. Noah smiled. No promises. Noah. I'm joking. Will sat back down. Noah studied the board. Thank you. For what? For not kicking me out when our session ended. Will smiled. You needed some extra time today, but next time we're keeping closer to the schedule. Fair. Noah moved his rook. Jack. Will stared at the board. You've been sitting here having an emotional crisis for 4 hours and you still found that. Noah grinned. My dad taught me chess. Will shook his head and moved his king. Noah immediately reached for another piece. Check again. Will looked at him. Oh, come on. Noah laughed. For the first time all day, it felt easy. No brothers. No hospital. No memories he had to explain. Just Noah, Will, and the chessboard. At least until the game ended. Then Noah would pick up his phone, call his mother, and do the next hard thing. But he didn't have to do it before he was ready. After leaving the club, Noah stopped at a store before going home. For once, he wasn't buying something for Eli, Caleb, or Linda. He was buying things for himself. Noah picked up a pack of adult diapers, a small private storage case for personal items, a lockbox, and a plain backpack big enough to carry everything without drawing attention. He stood in the aisle staring at the backpack. This is really my life now, he muttered. Then he smiled. But I actually like it. At home, Noah put the supplies into the backpack and placed anything especially private inside the locked box. His phone buzzed. Eli, you alive? Noah laughed. He texted back. Yes, and before you ask, what I bought is none of your business. Eli replied almost immediately. I wasn't going to ask. Noah stared at the message. Bullshit. Another message appeared. Okay, I was curious, but Caleb told me to shut up. Noah laughed harder. Tell Caleb thank you. Noah zipped the backpack closed and set it beside his bed. It felt strange seeing it there. Not bad. Just new. For years, almost everything Noah carried around had something to do with somebody else's needs. This bag was different. This one was his. His therapy stuff. His comfort supplies. His privacy. His choice. Noah picked up his phone again. Then he remembered what he had promised Will. He called Linda. She answered. Noah. Hey, Mom. Are you coming? Noah looked at his new backpack. Yeah, I just needed to take care of myself first. Linda was quiet for a second. Then she said, good. Noah smiled. I'm on my way. Noah stopped in the hospital bathroom before going to Linda's room. He changed into a fresh diaper and made sure the rest of his private comfort items were secure under his clothes. Then he packed everything back into his backpack and locked the zipper compartment. He looked at himself in the mirror. Okay, he whispered, you can do this. Seeing Linda weak was still bringing back memories of his dad, but Noah reminded himself of what Will had said. His mom was here. Right now she was here. Noah washed his hands, threw his backpack over one shoulder and walked down the hallway. When he reached Linda's room, he stopped outside the door for a few seconds. Then he knocked. Linda looked over. "There's my oldest pain in the ass." Noah laughed despite himself. "Good, if you're insulting me, you must be feeling better." Eli was sitting beside the bed. Caleb was across the room eating something from the vending machine. Eli looked at Noah's backpack, then immediately looked away. Noah noticed. "Thank you." Eli raised both hands. "I learned my lesson not asking." Caleb nodded proudly. "I trained him." "Fuck you," Eli said. Linda sighed. "Can we go 5 minutes without somebody saying that?" "No," all three answered. Linda shook her head. Noah walked over and sat beside her. "How are you really?" "Weak." Noah appreciated that she didn't say she was fine this time. "But better than yesterday," Linda added. "Good." She looked at him. "And how are you?" Noah paused. Then he answered truthfully. "Scared." Linda reached for his hand. Noah took it. "Hospitals mess with me," he continued. "Seeing you in bed like this makes me remember Dad." Linda's expression softened. "I wondered if that was why you left yesterday." "Part of it. You could have told me." "I'm trying to get better at that." Linda squeezed his hand. Noah looked around the room. "And I'm also trying to get better at not becoming everybody's caretaker just because something goes wrong." Eli nodded. "I remember." Caleb pointed at him. "Look at him respecting boundaries." Eli rolled his eyes. Noah laughed. Then Linda looked at her oldest son. "You don't have to take care of me every second, Noah." "I know. You can visit me because you want to." Noah looked at her hand holding his. "That's why I'm here." Linda smiled. Noah leaned back in the chair. "And I brought my own stuff this time, so nobody needs to worry about me." Eli opened his mouth. Caleb immediately pointed at him. "Don't." Eli closed his mouth. Noah burst out laughing. "Maybe there's hope for this family after all." Noah looked over at Eli. "Eli, sorry for snapping at you last night." Eli looked surprised. Noah continued before he could answer. "You called and texted me too much while I was trying to work on myself for once. I was already angry and overwhelmed, so when you kept asking questions, I lost it." Eli nodded slowly. "I get it. No, I still shouldn't have snapped at you like that." Noah looked toward Linda's hospital bed. "And I hate hospitals too. Being here brings back too much stuff about Dad." Eli's expression softened. "You don't have to apologize for needing space." "I know, I'm apologizing for how I said it." Eli nodded. "Then apology accepted." Noah gave him a small smile. "But seriously, next time I say I need space, please give me space." "I will." Caleb looked at Eli. "I'm writing that down." Eli rolled his eyes. "Shut up." Linda smiled faintly from the bed. Noah leaned back in his chair. "And if there's an actual emergency, obviously call me." Eli raised an eyebrow. "How many times?" "Once." Caleb laughed. Noah pointed at him. "Maybe twice if Mom is in the hospital." Linda sighed. "I'm literally right here." Noah smiled. "Exactly, and I'm glad you are." Linda looked at Noah from the hospital bed. "I may get to go home tomorrow." Noah smiled a little. "Good." Linda reached for his hand. "And Noah, I'm sorry." Noah looked at her. "For what?" "For what happened with your dad, for everything I put you through when you were a kid." Noah went quiet. Linda continued. "You were caught between two parents who were fighting, and you had things happening around you that no kid should have had to carry." Noah looked down at their hands. "I spent a long time being mad at you." "I know. And some of that anger is still there." Linda nodded. "That's fair." Noah swallowed. "But I don't want to spend the rest of my life angry." Linda's eyes watered. "Neither do I." Noah looked at her. "I wish you and Dad could have figured things out." "So do I. But I also know I can't keep imagining some perfect version where everybody ends up together and none of the bad stuff happens." Linda squeezed his hand. "No." Noah took a breath. "I just want whatever time we have now to be better." Linda nodded. Me too. Eli stayed quiet across the room. Caleb didn't make a joke this time. Linda looked back at Noah. And I'm sorry we made you feel like being the oldest meant you always had to take care of everybody. Noah's expression changed. That one hurt the most. I know that now. Noah wiped his eyes. I still want to help everybody. I know. But sometimes I need somebody to help me too. Linda nodded. Then we need to start doing that. Noah gave a small laugh. You better actually mean it. Yeah. I do. Noah leaned closer and hugged her carefully. I love you, Mom. Linda held him. I love you too, Noah. For once, Noah didn't feel like the oldest brother, the responsible one, or the person holding everyone else together. He just felt like Linda's son. Noah left Linda's room and walked quickly toward the bathroom. The second the door closed behind him, he leaned against the wall and started crying. He tried to stay quiet. He tried to get himself under control. But Linda's apology had hit something deep. A minute later, the bathroom door opened. Caleb stepped inside. Noah. Noah looked up embarrassed. I'm fine. Caleb gave him a look. No, you're not. Noah tried to wipe his face. I just need a minute. Caleb started to back toward the door. Okay, I can give you. No. Caleb stopped. Noah walked over and hugged him. Caleb froze for half a second, surprised. Then he hugged Noah back. Noah broke down against him. I'm so fucking tired, Caleb. I know. No, I don't think anybody knows. Caleb held on to him. Then tell me. Noah shook his head. I don't even know where to start. You don't have to. Noah cried harder. Mom finally apologized. I heard. I waited years for her to say that. Caleb nodded. And now she says it while she's in a hospital bed, and all I can think about is Dad. Caleb didn't try to fix it. He just stayed there. Noah pulled back slightly. I told Will that nobody ever helps me the way I help everybody else. Caleb looked at him. Well, I'm here. Noah's face crumpled again. That's why I hugged you. Caleb gave a small smile. Then keep hugging me, dumbass. Noah laughed through the tears. That's my line for Eli. He deserves it more. Noah hugged him again. After a while, his breathing started to settle. I'm sorry I've been mad at you. Caleb frowned. For what? For being safe when Eli and I were. Caleb went quiet. Noah continued. I know it wasn't your fault. I know you didn't ask for any of this. But sometimes I looked at you and got angry because Scott and Rick didn't get to you. Caleb nodded slowly. You can be angry. I don't want you thinking I wished it happened to you. I don't. Noah looked at him. I just wish somebody had protected me too. Caleb pulled Noah back into the hug. You deserved that. Noah closed his eyes. For once, he didn't have to be the oldest brother holding everybody else together. For a few minutes in a hospital bathroom, somebody else held him. Eli stepped into the bathroom and looked between Noah and Caleb. Noah just needs some sex that helped me stop crying. Noah stared at him. Fuck you, Eli. He wiped his face and looked at Caleb. Thank you, Caleb. Then Noah walked out. Caleb waited until the door shut. What the fuck was that, Eli? Eli shrugged. I got hurt by them too. I had sex, moved on, and I'm fine. Noah will be fine. Caleb's expression hardened. No, that is not how this works. Eli rolled his eyes. I'm just saying what helped me. You didn't say this helped me. You walked in while Noah was crying and told him what he needed. Eli went quiet. Caleb continued. And you know Noah already had a relationship fall apart because he wasn't comfortable having sex, so why would you say that to him? I was trying to make him laugh. Well, you didn't. Eli crossed his arms. Caleb shook his head. You're acting like drinking, hooking up, or anything else automatically means somebody has dealt with what happened to them. It doesn't. Eli looked away. You think you're better than me. No. Caleb sighed. And I shouldn't call you a whore or a drunk either. That was me being pissed off and saying something cruel. Eli looked back at him. Then why did you say it? Because you hurt Noah and I wanted to hurt you back. That wasn't right. Eli leaned against the sink. For a few seconds, neither of them spoke. Then Eli said quietly, "I really thought I was helping." Caleb nodded. "I know, but Noah keeps telling everybody exactly what he needs: space, boundaries, therapy, chess, and somebody to listen." Eli rubbed his face. "And I keep ignoring it." "Pretty much." Eli sighed, "I'm a dumbass again." Caleb gave him a look. "Tonight, yeah." Eli looked toward the door. "I should apologize." "Later." Eli frowned. "Why later?" "Because apologizing immediately can become another way of making Noah deal with you." That stopped Eli. Caleb continued, "Give him a minute, let him go back to your mom. When he's ready, tell him you were wrong, don't explain it away." Eli nodded slowly. "Okay." Caleb opened the bathroom door. "And Eli." "What?" "Different people survive the same kind of hurt differently. What helped you doesn't automatically help Noah." Eli looked down. "Yeah." Caleb stepped into the hallway. "And maybe start learning that before Noah decides therapy is the only place he can get some damn peace." Caleb stared at Eli. "He'll have peace when he moves out of mom's place and starts acting like a man," Eli said. "He still acts like a kid." Caleb's expression changed. "What happened to the guy I married?" Eli folded his arms. "I grew up." "No," Caleb said. "Growing up doesn't mean deciding everybody has to deal with pain exactly the way you did." Eli shook his head. "You're my brother now, whatever happened between us is over, and Noah needs to move on." Caleb stared at him. "You heard him crying 5 minutes ago. So maybe move on isn't what he needs to hear." Eli pulled out his phone. "Whatever, excuse me, I have a date, bro." Caleb blinked. "A date?" "Yeah. You and I aren't even officially divorced yet." Eli shrugged. "We already know this marriage is done." Caleb's jaw tightened. "That doesn't mean you get to treat everybody around you like their feelings are an inconvenience." Eli headed toward the hallway. "I'm not doing this with you. That's becoming your answer for everything." Eli stopped. Caleb continued. "Noah finally admitted he needs help. Mom finally apologized to him. He went to therapy. He's actually trying to work through things instead of burying them." Eli looked back. And maybe the person who needs to grow up is Noah." Eli's face hardened. "Fuck you." Caleb nodded toward the hallway. "Go on your date." Eli walked away. Caleb remained by the bathroom for a moment before returning to Linda's room. Noah was sitting quietly beside her bed. Linda looked at Caleb. "Where's Eli?" "Going out." Noah sighed. "Of course." Caleb sat beside him. Noah looked over. "What happened?" Caleb hesitated. Then he shook his head. "Nothing you need to fix." Noah stared at him. Caleb smiled faintly. "You said you wanted people to stop handing you everybody else's problems." For the first time that evening, Noah didn't ask another question. He simply nodded. "Thank you." Noah looked over at Caleb. "Caleb, Eli going on a date." Caleb nodded. "Yeah." Noah studied his face. "How do you feel?" Caleb looked down at the floor. "Hurt." Noah stayed quiet. Caleb let out a long breath. "I know we're getting divorced. I know we found out we're brothers and everything between us changed overnight." He rubbed his hands together. "But that doesn't mean my feelings just disappeared." Noah nodded. "You still loved him." "Yeah." Caleb swallowed. "I still do in a way, I just don't know what that love is supposed to look like anymore." Noah leaned back in his chair. "That sounds complicated as hell." "It is." Caleb laughed bitterly. And then he walks out saying, "I have a date, bro," like what we had meant nothing. Noah looked toward the hospital room door. "Eli does that." "What?" "Acts like something doesn't hurt because admitting it hurts would mean he has to sit with it." Caleb looked at him. "You think that's what he's doing?" "I don't know, I'm not his therapist." Noah gave a small smile. "I'm finally learning not to pretend I know what everybody else is feeling." Caleb nodded. "Fair." Noah looked at him again. "But you asked me earlier to tell you when I wasn't okay." "Yeah. So I'm asking you now." Caleb's eyes watered. "I'm not okay." Noah reached over and put a hand on his shoulder. You don't have to be. Caleb looked away. I feel stupid. Why? Because part of me wanted him to be upset too. Noah nodded slowly. That doesn't make you stupid. I wanted him to care that this hurts. Noah's voice softened. You want proof that what you had mattered to him. Caleb looked at him. Yeah. Noah gave his shoulder a squeeze. I get that. Caleb laughed weakly. Look at you, therapy for 2 days and suddenly you're wise. Noah smiled. Don't get used to it. Caleb finally laughed. Then Noah added, and for what it's worth, you don't have to chase Eli tonight, let him make his choices. Caleb nodded. What am I supposed to do? Noah shrugged. Sit here with me, be mad, be hurt, eat terrible hospital vending machine food. Caleb smiled. That actually sounds better than chasing him. Noah leaned back. Good, because for once, neither of us is fixing Eli. Caleb nodded. Deal. Eli sat in his car, staring at the divorce papers on his phone. For several minutes he didn't move. Then he signed the last page electronically and sent everything to the court. That was it. At least legally, the process had started. His phone buzzed. Matt, you still coming? Eli stared at the message, then typed back. Yeah, let's get a hotel. A few minutes later, Matt called him. Are you sure? Eli frowned. Why wouldn't I be? Your family, your mom's in the hospital. Caleb is probably having a rough night, Noah too. Eli leaned back against the seat. They'll be fine without me tonight. Matt was quiet. Eli added, I've spent enough time dealing with everybody else. You sure this isn't you running from what happened? Eli rolled his eyes. Matt, I filed the divorce papers. Caleb and I found out we're brothers. There's nothing to save there. I didn't say there was. Then what are you saying? That you sound angry. Eli looked out the window. I am angry. At Caleb. At everything. Matt sighed. You don't have to pretend with me. Eli's voice hardened. I'm not pretending. Across town, Caleb's phone buzzed. He looked down. An email notification from the court. Noah noticed his face change. What? Caleb turned the phone toward him. Divorce filing received. Noah went quiet. Caleb swallowed. He really filed it. Linda looked over from the hospital bed. I'm sorry, Caleb. Caleb stared at the screen. I knew it was coming. Noah nodded. Knowing doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. Caleb looked toward the empty chair Eli had been sitting in earlier. He couldn't even tell me himself. Noah reached over and took the phone from Caleb before he could start typing. Caleb frowned. Give me that. No. Noah. You're hurt and angry. Anything you send right now is probably going to make tomorrow worse. Caleb stared at him. You really have been going to therapy. Noah gave him a small smile. Unfortunately. Linda laughed weakly. Caleb leaned back. Fine. Noah put the phone on the table. For tonight, leave Eli alone. Caleb nodded. Then his expression fell again. He really left. Noah looked at him. Yeah. Caleb took a breath. And it fucking hurts. Noah nodded. I know. This time, neither of them tried to fix it. Eli zipped up his suitcase. I got my padding, my clothes, everything I need. Matt looked at the suitcase, then back at Eli. When do you want to come back? Eli grabbed the handle. Never, let's go. Matt didn't move right away. Never is a big word. Eli sighed. I don't want to go back to Mom's house. I don't want Caleb staring at me like I destroyed his life. I don't want Noah giving me therapy speeches. I'm done. You can be done for tonight without deciding the rest of your life tonight. Eli looked irritated. I already filed the divorce papers. I know. So what am I supposed to go back for? Matt shrugged. Your stuff, your mom, your brothers, or maybe just to have a conversation when everybody isn't pissed off. Eli looked away. They'll be fine. Maybe. Matt picked up his own bag. But people being able to survive without you doesn't mean they don't care whether you come back. Eli didn't answer. His phone buzzed. Noah, Mom is resting. Caleb saw the filing. Nobody is chasing you tonight, just let us know you're safe. Eli stared at the message. Matt asked Noah. Yeah. What'd he say? Eli handed him the phone. Matt read it. That sounds pretty reasonable. Eli rolled his eyes. I hate when Noah gets reasonable. Matt laughed. Eli took the phone back and typed. I'm safe, staying somewhere else tonight, don't wait up. A few seconds later, Noah replied. Okay, thank you for telling me. Eli stared at the screen. No argument. Matt smiled slightly, sounds like Noah is learning boundaries. Eli put the phone into his pocket. Yeah, apparently everybody is. He picked up his suitcase. Come on. Matt opened the door. Eli stepped outside, carrying everything he thought he needed for the night. He still didn't know whether never really meant never. But tonight he wanted distance. And for once, nobody was chasing after him. Eli rolled down the window. Matt looked over, what are you doing? Without answering, Eli threw his phone out the window. Matt's eyes widened. Eli. Eli leaned back in the seat. Now I can live my life my way. Matt stared at him. You just threw your phone into the street. Exactly. What if the hospital calls about your mom? Eli looked out the window. They have Noah. Matt frowned. What if Caleb needs to contact you about the divorce? He can go through the court. And what if Noah just wants to know you're alive? Eli's jaw tightened. I'm tired of everybody knowing where I am, what I'm doing, who I'm with, and what I'm supposed to feel. Matt nodded slowly. Okay, wanting space makes sense. Good. But throwing away every way your family can reach you isn't the same thing as setting a boundary. Eli looked at him. You sound like Noah now. Maybe Noah has a point sometimes. Eli groaned. Can everybody stop defending Noah? I'm not defending him, I'm talking about you. Matt pulled into the hotel parking lot. You said you wanted to live your life your way, fine, what does that actually mean? Eli opened the car door. It means nobody telling me what to do. That's not a life plan. It is tonight. Eli grabbed his suitcase. Matt got out too. Your mom is sick, your divorce just started, and you've basically cut off your entire family in one evening. Eli turned around. You think I don't know that? Then why are you acting like none of it matters? Eli's expression changed. For the first time that night, some of the anger disappeared. Because if I stop moving, I'm going to think about everything. Matt went quiet. Eli looked away. So tonight I don't want to think. Matt nodded. Then we get a room, eat something, and you get some sleep. Eli gave him a look. That's your big plan. Better than making 5 more permanent decisions because you're angry. Eli sighed. Fine. As they walked toward the hotel entrance, Eli looked back toward the road where he had thrown the phone. For a moment, he almost told Matt to turn around and find it. Instead, he tightened his grip on the suitcase. Keep walking. Matt nodded. And they went inside. 2 years later, Matt stood beside Eli while they looked over the final wedding plans. Eli, don't you want your family at our wedding? Eli barely looked up. No. Matt frowned, not even your mom's, Noah, Caleb. I'm living my life my way, Eli said. If I wanted them in our life, I wouldn't have left them. Matt sat down across from him. It's been 2 years. I know. And you haven't talked to any of them. That was the point. Matt studied Eli's face. You really don't miss them. Eli paused for just a second. Then he shrugged, I'm better without all that drama. That wasn't what I asked. Eli looked irritated. Matt. I'm not trying to force you to invite them, it's our wedding and I'm not going behind your back, but every time I mention your family, you get angry. Because I don't want to talk about them. Matt nodded slowly. Okay, then I'll respect that. Eli looked back at the wedding paperwork. Thank you. Matt was quiet for a moment before asking, what happens if one day you change your mind? Eli stopped writing. Then I'll deal with it that day. You think they'd let you back into their lives? Eli's expression hardened. I don't know. That answer was different. For 2 years, Eli had acted like he didn't care. Matt noticed. You've thought about it. Eli sighed. Sometimes. Who do you think about? Eli stared at the table. Mom. Matt stayed silent. And Noah, Eli admitted, mostly Noah. What about Caleb? Eli's jaw tightened. That's complicated. You two were married before you knew you were brothers. I know what happened, Matt. I'm not judging you. Eli rubbed his forehead. The last real thing I said to Noah was basically that he needed to grow up and move on. Matt nodded. And then you disappeared. Yeah. Eli looked away. He was actually trying to get better, therapy, boundaries, all that stuff, and I acted like he was weak for it. Matt asked, do you still believe that? Eli was quiet. No. Matt leaned back. Then maybe living life your way doesn't have to mean never admitting you were wrong. Eli looked at the wedding invitation samples sitting between them. I still don't want them at the wedding. Matt nodded. Then they're not coming. Eli looked surprised. That's it. That's it, I asked, you answered. Matt reached across the table and pushed the wedding planner toward Eli. But if you ever decide you want to call Noah, call him because you want to, not because I pressured you. Eli nodded slowly. Okay. Then after a long silence, Eli asked, do you think he still plays chess? Matt smiled faintly. I think you already know who you miss. Noah walked into the living room holding his phone. Caleb, a woman wants me to be her date at her brother's gay wedding. Caleb looked up. What's her name? Kim. Caleb raised an eyebrow. You know Kim well. Not really, we've talked a few times. She said her brother is getting married and she doesn't want to go alone. Caleb smiled and she asked you. Yeah. So what's the problem? Noah sat down. I haven't really dated anybody since my ex. Caleb's expression softened. Oh. And after everything with her, I don't know if I even want to call this a date. Then don't. Noah looked at him. What? Go with Kim, have fun, eat free wedding food, dance if you want. If it turns into something later, cool. If it doesn't, also cool. Noah laughed. Free food is a strong argument. I know you. Noah looked back at his phone. She already knows I'm not looking to jump into anything serious. That's good. And she didn't act weird when I told her I'm in therapy. Caleb nodded, already better than your ex. Noah laughed. Low bars. Extremely low. Noah opened Kim's message again. Should I say yes? Caleb shrugged. Do you want to go? Noah thought about it. Yeah. Then there's your answer. Noah started typing. Yeah, I'll go with you. He hit send. A few seconds later, Kim replied. Perfect, and don't worry, my family is loud but mostly harmless. Noah showed Caleb. Caleb laughed. Mostly harmless. That part worries me. You grew up in our family. Noah nodded. Good point, I'm prepared for anything. Caleb smiled. So Noah Smith is finally going on a date. Noah pointed at him. Wedding companion. Date. Companion. Date. Noah shook his head. Keep talking and you're not helping me pick an outfit. Caleb immediately sat up. Oh, now you need me. Noah laughed. Unfortunately. Eli was looking over the last-minute wedding details when Kim walked into the room. Eli looked up. Kim, you actually have a date for the wedding. Kim smiled, yeah. Matt looked over too. Who is he? Kim shrugged, he's nice, funny too. Honestly, he kind of reminds me of you, Eli. Eli raised an eyebrow. Hopefully not too much. Kim laughed. No, he's straight. Matt smiled, what's his name? Noah. Eli froze. Matt noticed immediately. Kim continued without realizing anything was wrong. Noah Smith, he's cute. Eli slowly put down the papers he was holding. What did you just say? Kim frowned. Noah Smith. Matt's smile disappeared. Eli stared at his sister. How old is he? 23, I think, why? Eli leaned back in his chair. You have got to be fucking kidding me. Kim looked between Eli and Matt. What? Matt spoke carefully. Kim, Noah Smith is Eli's brother. Kim's eyes widened. What? My older brother, Eli said. Kim stared at him. The brother you haven't talked to in 2 years. Yeah. The one you refused to invite. Yeah. Kim looked down at her phone. Then back at Eli. And he has absolutely no idea whose wedding I invited him to. Eli rubbed both hands over his face. Matt tried not to laugh. This is not funny, Eli said. Matt nodded. It's a little funny. Matt. Kim sat down. Okay, hold on, Noah never mentioned you by name. He just said he had brothers and his family was complicated. Eli laughed bitterly. That sounds like Noah. Kim looked worried. Do you want me to tell him not to come? Eli immediately answered. No. Matt looked surprised. Eli realized what he had said. Kim raised an eyebrow. You sure? Eli stared at the wedding invitation on the table. 2 years ago, he had walked away from his family and decided that if he ever wanted them back in his life, it would happen on his terms. Now Noah was about to walk into his wedding without even knowing it was Eli. Eli swallowed. No, don't tell him not to come. Matt asked, do you want Kim to warn him? Eli went quiet again. Finally, he shook his head. Tell him whose wedding it is before he gets there, he deserves the choice. Kim nodded. Okay. Then she looked at Eli carefully. And if he still comes? Eli stared at the table. I guess I'll finally have to face my brother. Kim called Noah. He answered after a few rings. Hey. Hey babe, I need to ask you something. Noah sat up a little. Okay. Does the name Eli Smith ring a bell? Noah went completely quiet. Kim. Yes. How do you know my brothers? Kim hesitated. He's marrying my brother. Noah stood up so fast he nearly dropped his phone. What? I didn't know, Noah, I swear, I only found out today. Noah paced across the room. Your brother is Matt. Yeah. Noah stopped walking. Matt. Kim could hear the anger in his voice. You know him? No, but I know the name. Noah rubbed his forehead. Eli disappeared with a guy named Matt 2 years ago. Kim went quiet. Oh. Yeah, oh. Noah sat back down. So the gay wedding you invited me to is Eli and Matt's wedding. Noah laughed once, but there was no humor in it. This family is fucking ridiculous. I'm sorry. It's not your fault. Kim asked carefully, do you still want to come? Noah didn't answer immediately. Part of him wanted to say no. 2 years. No calls. No visits. Not even when Linda was sick. Eli had simply walked away. Then Noah remembered sitting with Will and talking about how tired he was of making every decision around what his family needed. Kim spoke again. Noah. I'm here. You don't have to come just because you already said yes. Noah nodded even though she couldn't see him. Thank you. I mean it. Noah looked toward the backpack he still used for therapy. Did Eli know you invited me? Not until today. And what did he say? Kim hesitated. He didn't tell me to uninvite you. Noah frowned. That's not the same thing as wanting me there. No. At least Kim was being honest. Noah leaned back. Does he know you're calling me? Yes. That surprised him. Noah stared at the ceiling. I haven't seen my brother in 2 years. I know. He called me childish because I was going to therapy, then he basically told everybody he was done with us. Kim stayed quiet. Noah continued. And now I'm supposed to show up while he starts his perfect new life. You're not supposed to do anything. Noah closed his eyes. That sounded exactly like something Will would say. Choice. His choice. Finally Noah said, I'm still going. Kim sounded surprised. You are? Yeah. For Eli. Noah thought about it. No. He smiled faintly. I said I'd be your date. Kim laughed softly. So it is a date now. Don't push it. She laughed harder. Noah shook his head. But Kim. Yes. If Eli doesn't want to talk to me, I'm not chasing him. Fair. And if he says some stupid shit about me needing to grow up, I'm leaving. Also fair. Noah took a breath. I'm going because I want to go. What Eli does with that is his problem. Kim smiled on the other end. I think I like you, Noah Smith. Noah paused. Careful, apparently dating anyone connected to my family gets complicated fast. Kim burst out laughing. Good warning. Noah smiled too. Then he looked down at his phone. 2 years without his younger brother. And somehow, of all the weddings in the world, Noah had been invited to Eli. Fuck, he whispered. Kim heard him. What? Nothing. Noah sighed. I need a suit. Noah came rushing into the living room. Caleb. Caleb looked up from the couch. What? Noah held up his phone. Her brother is marrying our brother. Caleb stared at him. What? Kim's brother is Matt. Caleb's face changed immediately. Fuck. Noah nodded. Yeah. Caleb stood up and started packing. Linda passed a year ago from cancer, Eli hasn't talked to us in 2 years, and now this shit. Noah looked down. Mom would lose her mind if she knew. Caleb stopped. Don't. Noah looked at him. What? Don't bring Mom into this right now, I'm already pissed. Noah nodded slowly. Fair. Caleb rubbed his forehead. So Eli is actually marrying Matt. Apparently. And you're Kim's date. Apparently. Caleb stared at him. This family needs its own warning label. Noah laughed despite himself. No argument there. Caleb sat back down. Does Eli know you're coming? Kim told him. And he didn't tell her to uninvite me. Caleb scoffed. How generous. Noah sat beside him. I'm not going there to start anything. Caleb looked over. You still want to go? Yeah. Why? Noah thought about it. Because I like Kim. Caleb raised an eyebrow. You like her? Noah immediately shook his head. Don't start. I'm just asking. And because I'm tired of avoiding things because Eli might be there. Caleb nodded. That part I understand. Noah looked at him carefully. You want to come? Caleb went still. No. The answer came fast. Noah didn't push. Caleb stared at the floor. I was married to him, Noah. I know. I spent 2 years trying to figure out how to think of him as my brother instead of my husband. His voice became quieter. And now I'm supposed to watch him marry somebody else. No. Noah shook his head. You don't have to. Caleb looked at him. You're really not going to tell me I should go for closure? Nope. Caleb smiled faintly. Therapy really changed you. Noah laughed. Will would probably charge me extra if he heard how many times I use the word boundaries now. Caleb leaned back. Then go with Kim. I will. And if Eli acts like an asshole, I leave. Caleb nodded. Good. Noah paused. Do you want me to tell him anything? Caleb thought about it for a long moment. Finally he shook his head. No. Nothing. No. Caleb looked toward the framed picture of Linda sitting on a shelf across the room. If Eli wanted to know how I was doing, he had 2 years to ask. Noah nodded. That's fair. Caleb looked back at him. But Noah. Yes. If you see him and realize you miss your brother, don't feel guilty because I'm still angry at him. Noah went quiet. Caleb continued. Your relationship with Eli is yours, mine is mine. Noah smiled slightly. Look at you learning boundaries too. Caleb rolled his eyes. Shut the fuck up. Noah laughed. There's the Caleb I know. Eli was standing near the front of the venue in his tux when he saw Noah walk in beside Kim. For a few seconds, neither brother said anything. 2 years. No calls. No visits. Nothing. Noah finally broke the silence. Mom's dead. Eli's face changed, but only for a second. Then his guard went right back up. Kim, control your date or ask him to leave. Kim stared at Eli. Excuse me. Noah laughed bitterly. Control me. Matt immediately looked over from across the room. Eli, what's going on? Eli pointed toward Noah. I told you I didn't want family drama at our wedding. Noah stepped back. I didn't come here to start drama, I came because Kim invited me. Kim moved beside Noah. And Noah is my guest, you knew he was coming. Eli clenched his jaw. Noah looked directly at him. I wasn't even going to say anything to you. Then why bring up moms? Because you disappeared for 2 years. Noah's voice tightened. And she died a year ago. Eli went completely still. Matt looked at him. You didn't know. Eli didn't answer. Noah shook his head. No, of course he didn't. He threw his phone away, cut everybody off, and decided we didn't exist anymore. Eli finally spoke. You don't get to come to my wedding and dump this on me. Noah stared at him. I didn't choose when Mom died. Kim stepped between them slightly. Both of you need to stop. Noah looked at her. I'm not fighting him. Then he turned back to Eli. I just thought you should know your mother is gone. Eli's eyes started watering. He looked away quickly. No one noticed. For a moment his anger softened. She asked about you. Eli looked back. Don't. I'm not trying to hurt you. I said don't. Noah nodded. Okay. He stepped backward. There's your boundary, I'll respect it. Eli stared at him. Noah continued. But don't ever tell somebody to control me again. I'm not your kid and I'm not some problem Kim brought into your wedding. Kim nodded firmly. He's right about that. Matt walked over and stood beside Eli. Maybe everybody needs a minute. Noah adjusted his jacket. I'm good. He looked at Kim. If you want me to leave, I will. Kim shook her head. No, I invited you. Eli looked at Noah again. Their eyes met. Noah could see that Eli wanted to say something. Maybe about Linda. Maybe Caleb. Maybe those missing 2 years. But nothing came out. Noah finally said, Congratulations, Eli. Eli swallowed. Thanks. Noah nodded once and walked away with Kim. Matt waited until they were out of earshot. Then he looked at Eli. Your mom died. Eli stared at the floor. A year ago, apparently. His voice cracked. Matt put a hand on his shoulder. Eli didn't pull away. Across the room, Noah sat beside Kim. She looked at him. You okay? Noah took a long breath. No. Then he gave a small, tired smile. But I don't have to fix him. Kim nodded. No, you don't. Noah looked back across the room at his younger brother in the tux. For the first time in 2 years, Eli was right there. And somehow he still felt miles away. Eli was standing near the front of the venue in his tux when he saw Noah walk in beside Kim. For a few seconds, neither brother said anything. 2 years. No calls. No visits. Nothing. Noah finally broke the silence. Mom's dead. Eli's face changed, but only for a second. Then his guard went right back up. Kim, control your date or ask him to leave. Kim stared at Eli. Excuse me. Noah laughed bitterly. Control me. Matt immediately looked over from across the room. Eli, what's going on? Eli pointed toward Noah. I told you I didn't want family drama at our wedding. Noah stepped back. I didn't come here to start drama, I came because Kim invited me. Kim moved beside Noah. And Noah is my guest, you knew he was coming. Eli clenched his jaw. Noah looked directly at him. I wasn't even going to say anything to you. Then why bring up moms? Because you disappeared for 2 years. Noah's voice tightened. And she died a year ago. Eli went completely still. Matt looked at him. You didn't know. Eli didn't answer. Noah shook his head. No, of course he didn't. He threw his phone away, cut everybody off, and decided we didn't exist anymore. Eli finally spoke. You don't get to come to my wedding and dump this on me. Noah stared at him. I didn't choose when Mom died. Kim stepped between them slightly. Both of you need to stop. Noah looked at her. I'm not fighting him. Then he turned back to Eli. I just thought you should know your mother is gone. Eli's eyes started watering. He looked away quickly. No one noticed. For a moment his anger softened. She asked about you. Eli looked back. Don't. I'm not trying to hurt you. I said don't. Noah nodded. Okay. He stepped backward. There's your boundary, I'll respect it. Eli stared at him. Noah continued. But don't ever tell somebody to control me again. I'm not your kid and I'm not some problem Kim brought into your wedding. Kim nodded firmly. He's right about that. Matt walked over and stood beside Eli. Maybe everybody needs a minute. Noah adjusted his jacket. I'm good. He looked at Kim. If you want me to leave, I will. Kim shook her head. No, I invited you. Eli looked at Noah again. Their eyes met. Noah could see that Eli wanted to say something. Maybe about Linda. Maybe Caleb. Maybe those missing 2 years. But nothing came out. Noah finally said, "Congratulations, Eli." Eli swallowed. Thanks. Noah nodded once and walked away with Kim. Matt waited until they were out of earshot. Then he looked at Eli. Your mom died. Eli stared at the floor. A year ago, apparently. His voice cracked. Matt put a hand on his shoulder. Eli didn't pull away. Across the room, Noah sat beside Kim. She looked at him. You okay? Noah took a long breath. No. Then he gave a small, tired smile. But I don't have to fix him. Kim nodded. No, you don't. Noah looked back across the room at his younger brother in the tux. For the first time in 2 years, Eli was right there. And somehow he still felt miles away. Eli straightened his tux and looked toward the ceremony doors. Let's go get married. Matt didn't move. Eli, your mom died. Eli looked at him sharply. This isn't a funeral, it's a wedding, cheer up. Matt stared at him. That's your response. What do you want me to do? Eli snapped. Cancel everything, start crying in front of everyone. No, I want you to admit that hearing your mother died means something. Eli looked away. It doesn't change today. Matt lowered his voice. You haven't seen your family in 2 years. Noah walks in and tells you Linda died and you're acting like he told you the weather changed. Eli's jaw tightened. I chose this life. I know. And today is supposed to be about us. Matt nodded slowly. It is about us, but marrying you means I care about what's happening inside your head too. Eli looked toward the room where Noah and Kim were sitting. I'm not giving Noah the satisfaction of watching me fall apart. Matt frowned. You think Noah told you because he wanted to win something? Eli didn't answer. Across the room, Noah glanced toward Eli but stayed beside Kim. He didn't approach. He didn't interrupt. He had already said what he needed to say. Matt looked back at Eli. Your brother isn't chasing you. Good. He isn't yelling. Good. He told you your mother died, respected you when you told him to stop talking about it and walked away. Eli swallowed. Matt noticed. You're the one still thinking about him. Eli looked down. This is my wedding day. I know. So let's get married. Matt studied him for a few seconds. Okay. Eli looked surprised. That's it. Matt nodded. I'm not forcing you to process 2 years of family pain 10 minutes before our ceremony. Eli let out a breath. Thank you. But after today we talk. Eli rolled his eyes. Fine. Matt offered his hand. Eli took it. As they started toward the ceremony, Eli glanced one more time toward Noah. Noah was laughing quietly at something Kim had said. For some reason, that bothered Eli more than if Noah had been staring at him. Matt squeezed Eli's hand. You ready? Eli looked forward. Yeah. Then quieter. I'm ready. But for the first time in 2 years, Eli wasn't completely sure whether leaving his family behind had actually made him free. After the wedding, Matt sat beside Eli in the hotel room. You good? Eli looked over. About Linda, yeah, I'm good. Matt studied him. You sure? Eli sighed. Matt, can we make out or do literally anything besides talk about my family? Matt frowned. I'm not trying to annoy you. Well, you are. Eli stood up and loosened his tie. I'm not secretly falling apart. I'm not pretending I don't care. I heard Mom died and yeah, it sucks, but I haven't talked to her in 2 years. Matt nodded slowly. I just thought seeing Noah might bring a lot back. It brought back irritation. Matt laughed slightly. I noticed. Eli sat down again. Noah walks into my wedding and the first thing out of his mouth is that Mom is dead. To be fair, that is pretty important information. I know. Eli rubbed his forehead. But then you kept bringing it up too. I just got married. I wanted one day without everybody turning me back into Linda's son, Noah's brother, Caleb's ex, or whatever else. Matt nodded. You wanted to just be Eli. Exactly. Matt leaned back. Okay, no more family talk tonight. Eli looked at him suspiciously. You mean it? I mean it. Thank you. Matt smiled. Eli finally relaxed. And tomorrow? Matt asked. Eli groaned. Tomorrow you can annoy me again. Deal. Eli laughed. Now come here. Matt moved closer and they shared a brief kiss before Eli pulled back. See, much better conversation. Matt laughed. Definitely quieter. Eli smiled. For the rest of the night, Linda, Noah, Caleb, and the complicated Smith family history stayed outside the room. At least until morning. The next morning, Eli acted like nothing unusual had happened. He got dressed, grabbed something to drink, and started looking through messages on Matt's phone. Matt walked into the room. Kim and Noah want to have lunch with us. Eli looked up. I'll eat. Matt waited. But I'm not talking about my abusive mom, Eli continued. I'm sorry, but no. Matt nodded. That's fair. I mean it, I don't want Noah showing up with a list of everything mom said before she died. He didn't say he wanted to. Eli shrugged. I know my family. Matt sat beside him. Then tell Noah the boundary before lunch. Eli looked annoyed. Why do I have to explain myself? You don't have to explain why, just tell him what you're willing to talk about. Eli thought for a moment. Fine. Matt handed him the phone. Eli typed. I'll have lunch with you and Kim. I'm not talking about Linda, her death, or what happened when we were kids. Please leave that alone. A minute later, Noah replied. Okay, I can respect that. Eli stared at the message. That easy. Matt smiled. You expected an argument. Kind of. Another message came through. And I'm not trying to fix anything between us today. Kim just wants lunch with her brother and husband, and I'm her date. We can keep it simple. Eli read it twice. Matt asked what? Nothing. You have that face. What face? The face you make when Noah says something reasonable and it annoys you. Eli rolled his eyes. He went to therapy and became fucking Gandhi. Matt laughed. Eli handed the phone back. Lunch is fine. Good. But if he brings up mom, I'm leaving. Matt nodded. And if you start insulting him for going to therapy? Eli looked at him. I'll try not to. Eli. Fine, I won't. A few hours later, Noah and Kim walked into the restaurant. Noah saw Eli across the room. For a second, both brothers looked at each other. Then Noah simply said, Hey. Eli nodded. Hey. Noah sat beside Kim. No hugs. No speeches. No questions about Linda. Just four people sitting down for lunch. And for Eli, that was exactly how he needed it to start. Noah sat down across from Eli. Caleb said congratulations. Eli rolled his eyes. Yeah, right. Noah frowned. He did. I'm sure he's thrilled. Kim looked between them but stayed quiet. Eli pushed his chair back. I'll be back, I'm getting a cocktail. Matt sighed. Eli. What? You said you'd come to lunch. You've been here 5 minutes and you're already getting defensive. I'm not defensive. Noah raised an eyebrow. You rolled your eyes because Caleb said congratulations. Because I know Caleb. Noah shook his head. No, you knew Caleb 2 years ago. That stopped Eli for a second. Noah continued. He's hurt, he's still angry at you, but when I told him you got married, he still said congratulations. Eli looked away. I didn't ask him to. No, you didn't. Noah leaned back. And I'm not here to make you talk about him, I was just passing along what he said. Eli sighed. Fine. He started walking toward the bar. Matt called after him, maybe get something to eat first. Eli turned around. Why is everybody monitoring me? No one is, Matt said. I'm your husband, I'm asking you to eat lunch. Kim smirked. He does have a point. Eli pointed at her. You're supposed to be my sister. That's why I'm telling you when you're being annoying. Noah laughed. Eli looked at him. What? Nothing. No, say it. Noah smiled. I forgot how exhausting you are. Eli stared at him for a second. Then unexpectedly he laughed. Fuck you, Noah. Noah smiled. There he is. The tension eased slightly. Eli sat back down. Fine, food first. Matt nodded approvingly. Noah looked at the menu. Look at us, we've been together 10 minutes and nobody has left yet. Kim smiled. Progress. Eli glanced at Noah. Don't push your luck. Noah nodded. Fair. Matt looked across the table at Eli. Eli, sit down and let yourself feel whatever you feel about your mom. Eli's expression hardened instantly. Fuck you, Matt, I'm going to the bar. He pushed his chair back. Matt sighed, Eli, I'm not trying to force you to grieve. Then stop bringing her up. Noah stayed quiet this time. Kim looked at Matt, he did tell us he didn't want to talk about Linda. Matt rubbed his forehead. I know, I just thought. That's the problem, Eli snapped. Everybody keeps deciding what I'm secretly feeling. Matt looked at him. If I'm sad, I'll say I'm sad. If I'm angry, I'll say I'm angry. Right now I'm annoyed because my husband keeps trying to make me have some emotional breakdown that I'm not having. Noah finally spoke. He has a point. Eli looked surprised. You're agreeing with me. Don't get excited. Noah leaned back. You told us before lunch you weren't discussing mom. We agreed. Matt brought her up anyway. Matt nodded slowly. Okay, that's fair. Eli grabbed his jacket. I'm going to get some space. Kim asked, are you coming back? Eli paused. Probably. Noah smiled faintly, that's better than never. Eli gave him a look. 2 years of therapy and you still don't know when to shut up. Noah laughed. There's my brother. Eli shook his head and walked away. Matt watched him go. I really screwed that up. Kim nodded a little. Noah picked up his drink. He'll come back when he wants to. Matt looked at Noah. You're not worried. I spent years chasing everybody. Noah shrugged. I'm done chasing Eli, he knows where the table is. A few minutes later, Eli stood by himself away from the group. He wasn't crying. He wasn't thinking about Linda. Mostly, he was irritated that everyone seemed convinced there had to be some hidden feeling underneath every word he said. For once, Eli wanted people to believe him when he said, no meant no. Matt watched Eli from across the restaurant. He's hiding behind alcohol. Noah shook his head. Still, he doesn't want help right now, he wants to drink the pain away. A few minutes later, Eli came back to the table. Noah Smith, don't bring them up. Matt looked confused. Bring who up? Eli froze. No one. Noah frowned. I didn't. Eli looked at him. I heard you talking. I said you don't want help right now, that's all. Eli crossed his arms. You were talking about me like I wasn't there. Noah nodded. That's fair, I shouldn't have. Eli looked surprised. Noah continued. But I wasn't talking about Mom, Dad, Scott, Rick, or Caleb. Eli sat down slowly. Matt looked at him. Then who did you think Noah meant? Eli grabbed the menu. I said no one. Matt started to speak again. Noah cut him off. Leave it. Matt looked at Noah. He clearly. No. Noah shook his head. He told us he doesn't want to talk. We keep saying we respect boundaries, then immediately testing them. Kim nodded. Noah's right. Eli looked at Noah. You're actually defending me. I'm defending the boundary. Noah gave him a small smile. You're still an asshole. Eli laughed despite himself. Fuck you. There he is. Matt sighed. Okay, I'm done pushing. Eli nodded. Thank you. Noah looked at the menu. So can we finally have lunch without turning it into therapy? Kim smiled. Yes, please. Eli leaned back. And Noah. Yes. I know you didn't bring them up. Noah nodded. Good. For the first time since lunch started, Eli actually looked a little less tense. Matt looked at Eli. I just want you to handle whatever you're dealing with without alcohol. Eli frowned. I don't have pain, I just like to drink. Matt glanced at the clock. At 10 in the morning. Eli shrugged, it's my honeymoon weekend. Kim raised an eyebrow, that excuse is doing a lot of work. Eli looked at her, stay out of it. Noah kept his eyes on the menu. Matt continued, I'm not saying you can never have a drink. I'm saying every time something uncomfortable comes up, you head straight for the bar. Eli's jaw tightened. And every time I say I'm fine, you decide I'm secretly not. Matt nodded, because I'm worried about you. Well, worrying about me doesn't mean you get to tell me what I feel. Noah finally looked up. Eli's right about that part. Matt sighed, Noah. But Noah continued, Matt, also allowed to say he's worried about how much you're drinking. Eli stared at him. You really can't help yourself, can you? Noah shook his head. I'm not diagnosing you, I'm saying both things can be true. You can genuinely like drinking and Matt can still be uncomfortable watching you drink this early. Eli looked down at his cocktail. Kim said quietly, nobody here can make you stop. Eli looked at her. But Matt is your husband, she continued. If something scares him, he should be able to tell you. Eli leaned back. I got married yesterday, and somehow today became an intervention. Noah laughed softly. This family cannot have a normal lunch. Matt smiled despite himself, apparently not. Eli pushed the cocktail slightly away from himself. I'm still drinking it. Matt nodded, I know. But stop trying to make me admit I'm secretly devastated about Mom. Okay. And stop acting like every drink is because I'm hurting. Matt paused. I can do that, but if I'm worried, I'm still going to tell you. Eli thought about it. Fine. Noah smiled. Look at that communication. Eli pointed at him. One more therapy word, and I'm throwing bread at you. Noah leaned back. Boundary. Eli immediately grabbed a dinner roll. Noah. Kim burst out laughing. Eli ordered plate after plate until the table was covered with food. By the time everyone was finished, the bill came to nearly $780. Noah stared at the total. Eli, what the hell did you order? Eli barely looked at it. Food. That is not an answer. Matt sighed, Eli seriously. Eli stood up. Come on, Matt. Matt looked at the bill, then at Eli. We haven't paid. Eli was already walking toward the door. Matt hesitated, clearly embarrassed, then followed him. Kim stared after them. Did my brother seriously just leave? Noah picked up the bill. Looks like it. A few minutes later, Kim's phone buzzed. Matt, sorry, here's $820, that should cover everything and the tip. Kim looked at the payment notification. At least Matt paid. Noah shook his head. Kim sighed. I don't know how Matt loves Eli. Noah looked toward the restaurant entrance where his brother had disappeared. Same. Kim looked at him. Noah's expression became more serious. 2 months after Eli left, Mom got really sick, then she died a year later. Kim stayed quiet. And Eli just doesn't seem to care. Noah shook his head. I know he said he doesn't want anybody telling him how he feels. Fine, I'm not going to tell him he has to cry. Noah tapped the receipt against the table. But he disappeared, Mom got cancer, Caleb had to deal with the divorce, I was there while Mom got weaker. His voice tightened. And Eli got to come back 2 years later, get married, order almost $800 worth of food and walk out. Kim looked down. You're angry. Yeah. Noah nodded. I'm really fucking angry. Kim asked, do you regret coming? Noah thought about it. No. That surprised her. I needed to see him. Noah looked toward the door again. And now I know something. What? I spent 2 years wondering if I should have chased him harder. Noah shook his head. I shouldn't have. Kim reached across the table and touched his hand. Noah looked at her. Eli made his choice. Kim nodded. And you get to make yours. Noah gave a tired smile. You sound like Will. Is that good? Usually. Kim laughed softly. Noah looked at Matt's payment again. Your brother deserves better than getting stuck cleaning up every mess Eli makes. Kim sighed. I know. Noah leaned back. And Caleb deserved better too. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then Noah picked up the dessert menu. Kim raised an eyebrow. What are you doing? Matt sent $40 extra. Noah. He abandoned us with a $780 bill. I'm getting cheesecake. Kim burst out laughing. Fine. Noah smiled. For once today, I'm making a healthy emotional decision. Cheesecake. Exactly. Caleb FaceTimed Noah later that afternoon. Noah answered from Kim's car. Caleb said, so how is our deadbeat brother? Noah laughed without much humor. Pretty much the same, still drinking a lot, acting like nothing gets to him, and now Matt seems to clean up every mess. Caleb raised an eyebrow. So Matt is basically his new safety net. Looks like it. Noah shook his head. And when I told Eli mom died, he told Kim to control me or make me leave. Caleb stared at the screen. He actually said that. Yep. Caleb leaned back. So same Eli. Noah nodded. Same Eli. Caleb sighed. Did he ask anything about mom? No. Nothing. Nope. Noah looked out the window. And I'm trying not to decide what that means. He told everybody he doesn't want to talk about her, so fine, that's his choice. Caleb nodded. But it still pisses you off. Yeah. Noah looked back at the phone. I was there when she got sick. I watched everything change. I went through all of that after he left. Caleb's expression softened. I know. And then I see him 2 years later acting like we're strangers. Caleb sighed. Do you think he's coming back into our lives? Noah shook his head. I don't know. He paused. But I'm done chasing him. Caleb nodded. Good. Noah smiled faintly. You know what's funny? What? I used to think being the oldest meant I had to somehow fix all three of us. And now? Noah shrugged. Now Eli gets to make his own bad decisions. Caleb laughed. Therapy Noah strikes again. Noah smiled. Shut up. Caleb laughed harder. Then he asked, you okay though? Noah paused. That question still mattered. Yeah. He nodded. Actually, yeah, I'm angry, but I'm okay. Caleb smiled. Good. Noah looked over at Kim. And I've got better company anyway. Kim yelled from the driver's seat, I heard that. Caleb laughed. So the wedding date went well. Noah immediately pointed at the screen. Don't start. Oh, I'm absolutely starting. Noah groaned. Goodbye, Caleb. Love you too. Noah ended the call, smiling despite everything. Eli slammed the hotel room door behind him. Noah wanted to talk about mom on my day, he said. I knew she was going to die, that's why I left. I wasn't going to stay there and clean up everybody's mess. Matt stared at him. What? Eli paced across the room. She was already getting sick before I left, I could see where it was going. And you never told me that. Because it didn't matter. Matt's expression hardened. It clearly matters if you're this angry. Eli shook his head. Noah shows up at my wedding and drops mom's dead on me like I'm supposed to fall apart. He told you because you didn't know. I didn't want to know. Matt went quiet. Eli rubbed his forehead. I should have told Kim not to bring him, fuck. Matt sat down. You knew Linda was sick and you left anyway. Eli looked at him. Yes. Why? Because I spent my whole childhood surrounded by everybody else's problems. Dad needed help, Noah needed help, Mom had her shit, Caleb and I found out our marriage was impossible. Eli pointed at himself. I was done. Matt nodded slowly. Being done is one thing, acting like nobody should be hurt by you disappearing is another. Eli rolled his eyes. There you go again. No, Eli, I'm not telling you how to feel about Linda. Matt stood. I'm telling you Noah was there when she got worse, you weren't, so when he sees you acting like it meant nothing, he's going to have feelings about that. That's his problem. Matt stared at him. Do you hear yourself? Eli's jaw tightened. Yes. And you're okay with it? Eli looked away. I chose myself. Matt nodded. You're allowed to choose yourself. Eli looked back at him. But choosing yourself doesn't require treating everyone else like they're disposable. That hit harder than Eli expected. He grabbed the hotel key. I'm going downstairs. Matt didn't stop him. Eli reached the door then paused. I still wish Kim hadn't brought Noah. Matt said quietly, maybe. Eli looked over his shoulder. But maybe seeing Noah reminded you that leaving your family and being finished with them aren't always the same thing. Eli's face hardened again. Don't wait up. He walked out. Matt remained alone in the room, staring at the closed door. For the first time since marrying Eli, he wondered whether Eli had actually built a new life, or had simply spent 2 years running from the old one. 3.5 hours later, Matt called Eli again. No answer. He tried one more time. Still nothing. Matt stared at the phone then called Kim. She answered half asleep. Hello. Kim, Eli is missing. Kim immediately sat up. What do you mean missing? He left the hotel hours ago. He said he was going downstairs but he never came back. I've called him over and over. Kim looked toward Noah who was asleep beside her. Did you check the lobby? Yes. The bar? Yes. His car? Still here. Kim's expression changed. Okay, I'll wake Noah. She ended the call and shook Noah's shoulder. Noah. He groaned. Noah, wake up. What? Eli is missing. Noah opened one eye. Okay. Kim stared at him. Okay. Yeah. Then Noah rolled over and pulled the blanket back up. Kim shook him again. Noah. What? Your brother is missing. Noah looked at her. He disappeared for 2 years, Kim. That's not the same thing. He told everybody he wanted to live his life his way. He walked out of the hotel because he was pissed. He's a grown man. Kim frowned. You're really going back to sleep? Yes. Noah. He sighed and sat up slightly. If Matt thinks Eli is actually in danger, he should call the appropriate people and look for him. But I am not getting out of bed at 3 in the morning to chase Eli around the city because he decided to disappear again. Kim stared at him. You're not worried. I didn't say that. Noah rubbed his eyes. I said I'm not chasing him. Kim sat quietly. Noah continued. For years, every time Eli made a decision, everybody else had to clean it up. I'm done doing that. Kim looked down at her phone. Matt sounds terrified. Then stay on the phone with Matt. Noah lay back down. And if you find out Eli actually needs help, wake me. Kim nodded slowly. Okay. Noah closed his eyes. A few seconds later, Kim heard him mumble. I love that idiot, but I'm not his dad. Then Noah went back to sleep. Kim stared at him for a moment before calling Matt again. Matt answered immediately. What did Noah say? Kim sighed. He said he's not chasing Eli anymore. Matt went quiet. Kim added, but he said to wake him if we find out Eli actually needs help. Matt let out a breath. So he does care. Kim looked at Noah sleeping beside her. Yeah. She lowered her voice. He's just finally learned that caring about Eli and rescuing Eli aren't the same thing. The next morning, Matt was still trying to figure out where Eli had gone. Kim's phone suddenly buzzed. She looked at the message and froze. Noah. Noah was sitting at the table eating breakfast. What? Kim turned the phone toward him. It was a photo Eli had posted from an airport. Then another appeared. London, England. Noah stared at the screen. You have got to be fucking kidding me. Kim scrolled down. There was another picture. Eli was standing beside a man neither of them recognized. Kim frowned. Who is that? Noah shook his head. No idea. Matt called almost immediately. Kim answered. You saw it. Matt sounded furious. Yeah, he went to England. With some guy, Kim added. Matt went silent. Noah took the phone. Matt. What? You okay? No, Noah, I married him yesterday. Noah winced. Yeah. And now he's in another country with somebody I've never seen before. Noah leaned against the counter. I don't know what Eli is doing. Matt laughed bitterly. Does anyone? Noah looked back at the picture. 2 years earlier, Eli had thrown away his phone and disappeared because he wanted to live life his own way. Now, one day after his wedding, he had done it again. Kim asked, should we call him? Matt answered immediately. I already did, his phone goes straight to voicemail. Noah handed the phone back to Kim. I'm not chasing him. Matt sighed. I know. Noah looked at the picture one more time. But Matt, this time he didn't just leave his brothers or his mom. He paused. He left you. Matt went quiet. Noah continued, and you don't deserve to spend your whole life wondering which airport Eli is going to disappear through next. Kim sat beside her brother. Matt finally whispered, I thought getting married would make him stay. Noah shook his head. You can't make somebody stay who keeps deciding to run. Kim put an arm around Matt. Noah looked back toward the picture of Eli in England. Whatever he's looking for over there, I hope he finds it. Kim looked surprised. You're not angry. Oh, I'm angry. Noah picked up his breakfast again. But I'm also hungry. Kim laughed despite everything. Noah shrugged. Therapy taught me something. What? Eli can destroy his own morning. Noah took another bite. He's not destroying mine. Eli sat on the edge of the bed and rubbed his face. Why does everybody want me to grieve? Tim looked at him. I'm not going to tell you how to grieve. Eli glanced over. You're not. Nope, if you want to talk, you can talk. If you want quiet, you can have quiet. Tim pointed toward the clean clothes and care supplies nearby. Right now, just lie down and get comfortable. We can handle the practical stuff without turning it into another conversation about your family. Eli relaxed a little. Okay, Daddy. Tim smiled gently. Good baby boy. Eli lay back, keeping the moment focused on comfort rather than conversation. Afterward, Tim helped make sure Eli had what he needed and gave him space to settle. Eli stared at the ceiling. Matt kept trying to make me admit I was hurting. Tim sat nearby. Maybe Matt was worried about you. That doesn't mean he gets to decide what I feel. No, it doesn't. Eli looked over. And Noah kept doing the same thing. Tim shook his head. Then you can tell people you don't want that conversation, but you also have to let them have their own feelings about what happened. Eli frowned. So you're not completely taking my side. I'm not here to pick sides. Eli sighed. You sound like a therapist. I'm just saying you can choose not to talk about Linda. Matt can still be hurt that you left. Noah can still be angry. Those things can all exist at the same time. Eli went quiet. Then he pulled the blanket higher. I don't want to think about any of them tonight. Then don't. Tim dimmed the room. Eli finally relaxed. No family. No family talk. No weddings. No wedding talk. No Matt. Tim smiled. No Matt. Eli closed his eyes. Good. For the first time since leaving England's airport, Eli stopped trying to explain himself. For tonight, he just wanted somewhere quiet. Tim looked over at Eli, who was curled up comfortably watching Ed and Eddie. Baby Eli, after this episode, bedtime. Eli immediately looked over. 2 more. Tim shook his head. 1 more episode, mister, then bed. Eli frowned. 2. 1. 2. Tim crossed his arms. Eli stared at him for a few seconds, then sighed dramatically. Fine, 1. Tim smiled. Good choice. Eli pulled the blanket higher around himself. But I get to pick the episode. That's fair. Eli grabbed the remote and scrolled until he found one he wanted. Tim sat nearby. For a while, Eli just watched quietly. No Matt. No Noah. No wedding. No questions about Linda. Just an old cartoon, and somewhere he didn't feel pressured to explain himself. When the episode ended, Eli immediately reached for the remote again. Tim raised an eyebrow. Eli slowly put it back down. I was checking the time. Sure you were. Eli laughed. Okay, bed. Tim stood. Come on, mister. Eli got up and stretched. You're strict. You negotiated an extra episode out of me. That means I won. Tim laughed. That means you're going to bed 20 minutes later. Eli smiled as he headed toward the bedroom. Still counts. Tim helped Eli get settled into a clean onesie, keeping the routines simple and practical. Once Eli was comfortable, Tim picked up his phone. I'm going to call Matt. Eli sat up immediately. No. Tim stopped. Okay, why not? Eli crossed his arms. My brother told me Mom died, and ever since then Matt keeps trying to make me talk about her. Tim sat down nearby. I don't ever want to talk about her, Eli continued. That's why I got on a plane and came here. He shook his head. And this is Noah's fault anyway. Tim raised an eyebrow. How is it Noah's fault? He showed up at my wedding and told me Mom was dead. Eli's voice grew louder. I already knew it was probably going to happen. Last time I saw her, she looked really sick. That's part of why I left. Tim listened. Then Noah shows up right before I'm supposed to get married and drops that on me. Eli rubbed his forehead. And after that Matt turned into Noah. What does that mean? Everything became Eli, you need to talk about your feelings. Eli, stop drinking. Eli, you need to take better care of yourself. He shook his head. I'm done with people trying to manage me. Tim nodded slowly. You're allowed to dislike being pushed. Exactly. But Noah didn't cause Linda's death. Eli stared at him. I know that. And he didn't cause Matt to worry about you. Eli looked away. Tim continued. Noah gave you information you didn't want to hear at a time you hated hearing it. You can be angry about that. Eli stayed quiet. But that's different from making him responsible for everything that happened afterward. Eli frowned. So now you're defending him too? No. Tim shook his head. I'm saying you wanted to get away from people telling you what you feel. I'm not going to do that to you. Good. But I'm also not going to tell you Noah ruined your life just because you're angry at him. Eli pulled the blanket around himself. I still don't want to talk to him. Then don't. And Matt. Tim looked at the phone. That's your decision too, but Matt is your husband. Disappearing without telling him where you went is going to affect him whether you want to discuss Linda or not. Eli sighed. He wouldn't leave it alone. Then if you ever speak to him, tell him exactly that. You can say, I'm not discussing my mother, stop asking. I already did. Then he should respect that. Eli looked over. You actually mean that? Yes. Tim put the phone down instead of calling. I'm not contacting Matt behind your back. Eli relaxed. Thank you. But Eli. What? Not wanting to discuss Linda is a boundary. Cutting everybody off and blaming Noah for every uncomfortable feeling afterward is something different. Eli rolled his eyes. You always have to add something. Tim smiled faintly. Apparently. Eli lay back. I'm still not calling anyone tonight. Okay. No family talk. Okay. No telling me how I'm supposed to feel. Deal. Eli pulled the blanket higher. After a moment he muttered. And I don't need anyone commenting on my body either. Tim nodded. Agreed, your body isn't up for debate. That answer finally made Eli stop arguing. Good. Tim reached for the remote. One episode before sleep. Eli looked at him. You said bedtime. I changed my mind. Eli smiled. Now you're learning. Matt finally got through to Eli. Eli answered after a few rings. Matt. Eli, are you coming back? Eli was quiet for a moment. If I come back, will you stop talking to me about my family until I bring them up? Matt sighed. Yes, fine. I mean it. I know. You can talk to Noah, Kim, Caleb, whoever you want. I'm not telling you who you can speak to. Matt nodded even though Eli couldn't see him. But the second you start asking me to join those conversations, telling me to call Noah or trying to get me to talk about Mom again, I'm divorcing your ass. Got it? Matt paused. Got it. Eli leaned back. I'm serious, Matt. I left because everybody kept pushing after I said stop. I understand. You don't have to agree with how I handle things. I know. But you have to respect when I tell you I'm done talking. Matt's voice softened. I can do that. Eli went quiet. Then Matt said, I love you. Eli's expression softened slightly. I'll be back Sunday. Matt let out a relieved breath. Okay. And Matt? Yes. Love you too. Matt smiled. See you Sunday. Eli ended the call and put the phone down. Tim looked over from across the room. Going back. Sunday. How do you feel about that? Eli immediately gave him a look. Tim raised both hands. Wrong question. Eli laughed. Thank you. Tim smiled. So what do you want to do until Sunday? Eli grabbed the remote. Cartoons, food, and absolutely no family therapy. Fair enough. Eli settled back into the couch. For the first time since leaving, going home didn't feel like surrendering. He had told Matt exactly what his boundary was. Now the real test would be whether Matt respected it.